Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the student broadcast here on the SEC Network. As always, my name is Jake Ricker, alongside Alexa Harley. We're here in beautiful South Carolina as we get set to watch the number 5 Florida Gators take on the number 25 South Carolina Gamecocks. Alexa, we should be in for another great game. This is the second match of a best-of-3 series right now against the Gators and the Gamecocks. Last game went to 14 innings, ended with the Gamecocks on a walk-off double. Should be a fun one today.
Another great one and another long one, possibly, after that 14-inning heartbreak for the Gators. Longest game in school history. It was 5.5 hours. It beat the previous record in 1996, set by a 16-inning LSU matchup that went 5 hours and 12 minutes. So now that's the precedent for length in games.
I think
this one.
That is one of the longest baseball games I personally have ever witnessed. That's no question about that. Hopefully we won't have that one as long of it today, but should be a fun one nonetheless. Looking forward to this game. Alexa, anything you're looking for specifically for the Florida Gators to come back and try to get a win and even up this series?
I think the biggest thing is going to be seeing Leftwich go longer than Mace did yesterday. Mace only went 4 innings. I think for the Gators to have a little bit more of an edge, Leftwich needs to go probably 5 to 6 innings. That's where I think they'd want him to be, to not overwork that bullpen, considering they were all used last night in that 14-inning game.
Brandon Jordan is going to be the one on the mound here for the Gamecocks to get things set off, and stepping up into the box for the Gators to start things off is Jacob Young, the left fielder, who had a 30-game hit streak go in for a school record in school history. There's the first pitch in there for a strike. So Young starting off with an 0-1 count. You
mentioned Jacob Young's long hit streak, longest in Gator history, and he loses it the next day. The very next game, he can't make it 31. But since then, since that one no-hit game, he's been pretty electric at the plate.
All the more reason to start another hit streak, though. So that pitch in there low for a ball, count goes to 1-1.
Exactly. There's just a whole other season right now. He could easily make that streak just as long as it already was.
1-1 pitch in there also for a ball, so count now moves to 2-1 on Jacob Young. As we get set for the 2-1, that one also low for a ball. Count now moves to 3-1, so a good start for Young here with 3 balls to start things off.
Jacob Young, a sophomore, all the way up from Ponte Vedra, Florida. Very nice area all the way up at the tip of Florida.
Here's a 3-1 pitch. That's a high hit ball into left field, and that one will be caught for the first out there by the left fielder, Santler, for the first out for South Carolina.
Now you're going to have coming up to the plate Judd Fabian, SEC Co-Player of the Week. He earns that title after a stellar night at the plate and great defense as well in the Texas A&M home series last week. He had 5 RBIs, 2 home runs, a double. He also robbed Texas A&M of a solo shot in the first game.
First pitch swing. Here's a high hit ball into left field. This one going back to the track, but it's going to be caught by the center fielder for the second out of the inning. That's Allen on the catch for the Gamecocks. So the Gators get their first 2 batters down, and now the Gamecocks looking to grab that one last out and get out of this first inning.
I know we haven't had any hits so far from the Gators, but one thing that is promising is the fact that these are longer hit balls, and the wind seems to be blowing in their favor, that we could see a couple of long balls today.
Now stepping up into the plate for the Gators is going to be Nathan Hickey, the catcher, stepping in. He's batting at .359 so far this season as he gets set here for the first pitch. That one in there for strike number 1, low at the knees.
Nathan Hickey was the man who had the almost game-winning home run in the 14th inning to give the Gators an 8-7 lead that eventually went in South Carolina's favor 9-8. But he's also been electric from the plate. Hickey batting, like you said, .359 on the season, 20 runs, 28 hits, 5 home runs, including the one last night, like I said. He's been one of their best batters.
Next pitch on the way, and that one's in there for strike number 3. So the Gators will go down 1-2-3 in the top of the first. Next up is the Gamecocks taking the plate for the first time. We'll be right back after this quick break.
To school with your children. We say the Pledge of Allegiance together. I'm one out of every 4 children in America, and I'm struggling with hunger. I'm lucky to grow up where I could be whatever I want. I want to grow up and be someone who doesn't go to bed hungry. Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank. Every dollar you donate helps provide 7 meals for kids like me. Together, we're Feeding America. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
In the news, a small boy was rescued from abuse today by a magic trick. Witnesses say a bully had the boy pinned down.
Scott was hitting Timmy pretty hard.
And I said somebody should do something.
Moments later, a street magician arrived on the scene. Police reports state he covered the bully with his coat. What happened next is still under investigation.
The bully turned into a bunch of kittens.
The victim left the scene unharmed.
Boy, you never see that happen.
That's because it doesn't. If you see abuse or neglect, learn what you can do from American Humane at BeHumane.org.
I'm Sally, a volunteer at United Way. I'm asking people around the neighborhood what they think this place needs. Excuse me, hi. What do you think this place needs?
I'd like to see more parking.
More playgrounds.
Free movies.
That's easy. Better restaurants.
And you, what do you think this place needs?
This place? Oh, more ice cream trucks.
Okay. How about you?
Wi-Fi everywhere?
I was thinking more money in the pockets of local families come tax time.
Can I change my answer?
I was just kidding about the ice cream.
Oh, that's way better.
Now that you mention it.
When it comes to getting better tax refunds into the hands of local families, what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org. Because great things happen when we live united. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Welcome back here on SC Network Student Broadcast as we get set for the Florida Gators to take the mound this time in the bottom of the first. Gators with no runs on no hits there in the top of the first. Stepping up into the plate for the Gamecocks to start things off is Brady Allen, the center fielder, batting .300 so far this season for the Gamecocks.
You said that he's batting .300, but also Brady Allen has 10 RBIs and 3 home runs on the season. That's one of the reasons why he is stuck in this leadoff position for the Gamecocks.
Here's the first pitch. That one's in there for strike number 1, so an 0-1 count now to Allen to start things off.
So one of my favorite things in college baseball is the replication of Major League uniforms. And we're seeing right here we got 2 teams in 2 different displays of pinstripes today.
0-2 pitch in there, 0-1 pitch in there now for a strike to move the count to 0-2. Yeah, I love these uniforms, especially for the Florida Gators. The blue and the orange, always very nice to see as here's the 0-2 pitch. That one fouled off, so count will remain at 0-2 now.
I like this away piece they've put together. They got the blue, just sleek blue jerseys with the orange lettering and the gray pinstripes, whereas the Gamecocks are in a very similar rendition to Florida's white home pinstripes with the logo just over the left part of the chest.
Gamecocks kind of remind me of the White Sox
That's what I was going to say,
which I really like too as well. So here's the 0-2 pitch on its way, and there's a swing out hit onto center field. That ball headed back and will be caught by Judd Fabian for the first out for the Gators. So now stepping up into plate for the Gamecocks is going to be Brandon Wimmer, the second baseman, batting .391 on this season. He had a big part in the Gamecocks win last night in that 14-game battle.
He did. He had the tying run in the 14th inning, a solo shot that would eventually lead to Burgess coming up to have the RBI single to walk off the game.
Here's the first pitch from Leftwich. That one is in there for a ball. This count goes to 1-0 to start things off to Wimmer.
Wimmer batting .391 on the season, 5 home runs, 14 RBIs, performing very well from the plate.
Here's the 1-0 pitch, a swing out and a hard foul ball down the third baseline. The count now moves to 1-1.
So going back to our whole little uniform conversation, one of my personal favorites, and we'll see this next week, is the powder blues that Ole Miss has.
1-1 pitch on the way. That one in there for a swing and a miss. Strike number 2. So count now moves to 1-2. Yeah, those powder blues always look good. They always do that with the football as well. People enjoy those uniforms. So definitely a good, fun uniform matchup if you're into those kind of things. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing out and miss for strike number 3. So Leftwich picks up his first strikeout here in the bottom of the first to get the second out for the Gators.
A much-needed strikeout to kind of get things going for the Gators, kind of assert their dominance in the bottom of the first, start shutting down the South Carolina lineup early.
Now stepping up to the plate for the Gamecocks is Josiah Sider, batting .333 on the season, the left fielder. And he'll get set to take things out for Gators looking to pick up that third out of the bottom of the first.
So far in this game, we talked about how long yesterday was, but these have been some quick strikeouts, putouts we've seen from both Carolina and Florida pitching.
Very quick. There's the first pitch. That one low, hits the dirt for the first ball, so count moves to 1-0.
Last night's game, Seitler went 3-6 on the night, had a single, 2 doubles.
And now here's the 1-0 pitch, and that one in there for a strike on the breaking ball, so count now moves to 1-1.
It's a really nice sunny afternoon game here. I was kind of surprised that it wasn't another night game. We've usually had back-to-back night games before a Sunday afternoon start, but I kind of like this 4 p.m. middle of the day start.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one high, and you're going to be count moved to 2-1. Yeah, well, as they say, it's a beautiful day for baseball, so it's definitely nice and sun out, which is always great. As we get set here for the 2-1 pitch, that one swung and fouled off down the third baseline once again, so count now moves to 2-2.
Now, this is Florida's first actual, not their first away game this season, but first away series. I feel like this is very critical, especially with it being an SEC away series, for how they perform next week back at Florida Ballpark.
Here's the 2-2, and that one swung and popped up into the field. That's going to get down, though. Here's the throw to first, and he is safe. They called him off the bag there as the Florida Gators first baseman, Butler, couldn't hold on to that one, and a base hit for the Gamecocks.
That was kind of an interesting little chopper that Seitler just had. Went right up, bounced up, landed just on the grass in front of the second base side. Halter grabs it, but he has to throw it so fast that he throws it just a little bit to the left of Butler, who just can't quite stay on the bag long enough to get that out.
Gamecocks with the first base runner of the game so far today, and now stepping up into the plate is going to be Wes Clark, the designated hitter, batting .310 in the season, looking to try and get a little bit of a 2-out rally going for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, Wes Clark, 2 doubles, 11 home runs on the season. He is one of the leaders in the SEC and in the NCAA in general of home runs.
First pitch in there for a strike, so count will now move to 0-1 on Clark.
His major is retailing. I always find it interesting to see what majors baseball players have in comparison to what football players have. A lot of them are communications and business majors, and with baseball you see a lot of different variety.
0-1 pitch and a swing and a miss for strike number 2. A great pitch there from Leftwich to get him swinging, and now it's got him facing 0-2 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first.
It's a very socially distanced, warm afternoon here in South Carolina. A couple of Gator fans did make the trek up to Founders Park today.
Always good to see Gators hanging out down there. Here's the 0-2 pitch, a ground ball over to Rivera. He throws to first, and he's got him in time for the 3rd out. So that'll end it in here in the first inning. Both teams tied at 0, but the Gamecocks get the first hit of the game. We'll be back right after these quick messages for inning number 2.
Hey, Russell Wilson here, and I know how important exercise is.
It's essential. It's essential.
With Play 60, United Way and the NFL are helping kids stay active and play at least 60 minutes a day.
Healthy kids, healthy kids.
But what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60 because great things happen when we live united.
Donate, donate.
Are you guys going to do that every time?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
There are some things you can only do once in a lifetime. Graduate high school, get your first job. And if you're a young man about to turn 18, there's one other thing, which is also the law. Registering with Selective Service. It's fast, it's easy, and you only have to do it once your entire life. Just visit your post office or sss.gov on your computer or smartphone. Do it and keep yourself eligible for a lot of other once-in-a-lifetime experiences, like that first college loan or Pell Grant, or U.S. citizenship if you're an immigrant.
Hello, I'm John Lithgow. Manatees are unique, among the most amazing animals on Earth, but they're endangered. We pose the greatest threat to their survival. Many manatees are killed or injured by boats or other recreational activities. I'm a writer of children's books, including one about manatees, and I believe education is the key. You can be part of the solution. Please contact Save the Manatee Club right now. Call 1-800-432-JOIN. Thank you.
Are you saving for a big purchase or just trying to put money away for a rainy day? The National Foundation for Credit Counseling offers these tips to help you meet your savings goals. Set aside money from every paycheck, bank any raises, bonuses, or tax refunds, and put away loose change every night. It adds up. For more tips on how to save money and reach your financial goals, call a certified NFCC counselor.
And welcome back here on the student broadcast of the SSC Network as we're here getting set for the top of the second. First pitch in there for a strike. Right now, Kirby McMullen stepping up at the plate for the Florida Gators, batting .328 so far on the season for the Gators. 0-1 pitch now, low and in the dirt, so count will move to 1-1.
Kirby McMullen with a slugging percentage of .639 so far this season. He also has 17 RBIs. He may not be leading the team in RBIs. Nathan Hickey is, but he is getting things done from that cleanup spot.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one in there for a strike just at the knee. So count now moves to 1-2 here in the top of the second. Game still tied at 0. Looking for our first run of the day. Gamecocks got the first hit of the day in the bottom of the first. As here's the 1-2 pitch, a swing, and they're going to check to third, and they got him. So a strikeout here for the Gamecocks to start off here in the top of the second.
Well, I know McMullen is now making his way back to the bench, but I was going to add a little local boy. He's actually from Ocala, Florida, and he's one of the only players with this bright neon orange bat. My personal favorite bat on the entire team is this bright orange one.
Well, it matches his color scheme in the Gators. You got to love to see that.
A lot of school spirit.
Therefore, no question about it. Here is the next pitch, and a swing out and a foul ball. That one to Jordan Butler. He steps up to the plate, batting .298 on the season for the Gators.
Jordan Butler really went into that ball swinging hard. He was looking to hit it to the fences.
I think he's jealous that the Gamecocks got the first head of the game, so he's looking to even things up. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one way outside for a ball, so count now moves to 1-1.
Butler's got this very nice tattoo on his right shoulder, kind of going down towards the elbow. It looks like it's got some cursive and almost like a bird, maybe a dove or something like that. If you get a closer look, you can kind of break it down further. But it's a very nice sleeve piece.
Here's the 0-1. That one in there, 1-1 pitch in there for a strike. So count now moves to 1-2. Now the 1-2. Swing out and hit that down to the shortstop, and they'll pick it up, but they won't throw. So no throw, and Jordan Butler is going to get the first base runner for the Florida Gators.
Just like you were saying how he didn't like that South Carolina got the first hit, he went ahead and made it an even game.
He evened it up. Great job by Jordan Butler there. A good, nice, hard hit, and the shortstop, Khalil, for the Gamecocks wasn't able to make a play.
It was a really far outside pitch on the left side of the right side of the batter's box, and he just kind of nicked it just far enough so the shortstop couldn't get it because the shift was on.
Khalil actually did a great job at picking up that ball right there, but just wasn't able to get the throw off in time.
It looks like they might be reviewing the play to see if it actually ever hit the ground. It may have been a called out, just like a very low fly ball.
Which would also explain why he never threw the ball to first base, because he believed he caught it. It definitely looks like he did. And
judging by this replay, it looks like it never actually hit the ground, and it looks like Butler might be called out.
Wow, great job by the Gamecock shortstop Khalil.
That's a lot of range of motion. I don't think I could make it there fast enough, let alone catch the ball before it hit the ground.
Absolutely not. That was a fantastic play by him. There's a reason I'm up here in the broadcast booth and not down there on the field. So as we await the call right now, it's under review. This one shouldn't take long because it looked pretty clear to me as that one got in there and was caught. And to do that as well right before it hits the ground, so his glove is just about near touching the dirt as well.
It's not even like half an inch off the ground. I mean, it's right above the ground.
And I don't think there's any question about that. He definitely caught that one there. So spoke a little too soon. The Gators are not going to have their first hit unless we get surprised here by the call, as they're still reviewing this one as of right now, which I'm surprised is taking this long.
Yeah, I would be shocked if it isn't overturned. To me, this seems pretty clear and convincing. I have noticed that lately a lot of these reviews are on plays that can really go either way, and there's just never enough to overturn the call. However, if the call was originally made on the opposite side, there also isn't enough to overturn it back to like its original call. So if the runner's safe and everyone thinks he's out, there's not enough to make it an out, and vice versa. If he's out, there's not enough to make him safe.
Well, maybe they're seeing something else that we're not seeing. It's just making this review take a little bit longer. We'll have to wait and see, though.
Another reason why we're in the press box is because we're not qualified to be analyzing past plays.
That's a great point. We'll wait for that call coming up. The next game on SEC softball we have here on SEC Network, Alabama taking on Kentucky, number 3 ranked Alabama taking on number 7 Kentucky. That's on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, so make sure you stick around for that game. Should be a great one here in the softball league.
I used to play softball, so watching collegiate softball is some of the most intense just athletic competition I've ever seen. I mean, the speed at which you're pitching a softball typically is 50 miles an hour, and to do it at 70 is quite impressive.
And the call is here, and it is out, so the Gators will not get their first hit of the day. A great job by Khalil to catch that for the Gamecocks. So the Gators now 2 outs here in the top of the second. That's going to put hang on, sorry about that. It's going to put Sterling Thompson up to the plate for the Florida Gators, the right fielder.
Sterling Thompson was also really good last night. On the season, he's got 9 RBIs, 17 hits in 60 at-bats. He's not normally an everyday starter like we see Jacob Young and Jed Fabian. They've been in almost every game this season. Sterling Thompson kind of comes in, I would say, every other game. He was in last night's game. He might make an appearance tomorrow as well, but he's been very clutch from the plate as of late.
That pitch in there and outside for a ball, so count now moves to 1-1 on Thompson here in the top of the second. And now here's the 1-1. That one in there for strike number 2, so count now moves to 1-2 on Thompson.
Again, these pitchers are coming in so fast. We're already at 20 pitches, and we're close to being out of the second inning, it looks like, with this 1-2 count.
Definitely one of the fastest games I have seen in a long time. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one swung out, hit down on the first baseline, and I don't know if that one looked like it got down fair. Did not see a call from the umpire, and looks like they are saying it was a foul ball.
And that could have been a nice infield double, or outfield double, excuse me, for Sterling Thompson to kind of get things going here late in the second inning with a little bit of a rally.
Apologize in advance for not knowing what was going on there. We're, up, normally get to be inside the stadiums, but having to watch these games on monitors makes it a little more difficult to figure out what's going on down there. But so count now moves to 1-2 here on Thompson. Here's the pitch on the way. And a swing and a ball hit into, that's going to get into the outfield and out for a base hit. So the Gators don't get their first base hit off a great catch by Khalil, but it's Sterling Thompson who gets the Gators' first hit here of the day in the top of the second.
Hey, if you can't do it, your teammate can do it. That's why it's a team sport right here. That ball just barely getting over the head of second baseman Braylon Wimmer. He jumped, almost looked like he got a hand on it, but it is going to land in the outfield for a single with 2 outs for Sterling Thompson.
We can see the replay right here. I mean, no question that Wimmer gave everything he had to try and catch that one, but just couldn't get it right there. As here's the first pitch, and that one in there for a strike. 0-1 to Chris Armstrong, the designated hitter for the Gators today.
Wimmer's got ups. That was a lot of length to get up that far. A lot of vertical.
He definitely gave it all he got. So here's the 0-1 pitch now to Armstrong.
Armstrong's got 3 home runs, 10 RBIs on the season so far.
That one in the dirt there for a ball, so count now moves to 1-1.
Chris Armstrong also kind of plays in the field sometimes. I feel like we've seen him at first base a few times.
We get set here for the 1-1 pitch. Slowing things down a little bit here. Here's the 1-1. That one also low for a ball, so count now moves to 2-1.
I feel like as soon as you get a base runner, things start to kind of set in as to what reality is. That you have to take your time in between pitches, make sure that runner isn't stealing.
Jordan now getting set to deliver the 2-1 pitch here, and he's going to quickly check on the runner at first. He's in there back and safe. Here in the top of the second with 2 outs right now. Gators are looking to do a little bit of a 2-out rally. Gamecocks tried to do that in the last inning, but were unsuccessful.
Brandon Johnson on this year, is 1-2 on the year with 24.2 innings pitched.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. That one hit down. That's going to get in through in the outfield. And now here's going to be rounding third, headed home. And the Gators will get their first run of the day. And that's going to be a great job by the Florida. I think a triple,
An RBI triple for Chris Armstrong, extending his RBIs to 11 on the season with that one right there.
Beautiful job by Chris Armstrong to hit that ball. Ground ball went right into the outfield and put on the Jets, get all the way down to third base and score the run. So the Gators now lead it 1-0 here in the top of the second.
Now, what's interesting is I've said this a couple times, and I've noticed that the Gators usually come on top scoring and tend to win most of the games that they start the scoring. But last night, they did not start the scoring. They were down 3-0 by the third inning.
So now stepping up to the plate is going to be Kobe Halter, the second baseman for the Gators, with Chris Armstrong standing on third. He'll look to drive in a second run for the Gators.
Colby Halter in this 8th spot in the lineup. Usually you always think that the bottom of the lineup does not contribute to run production as much. That is not the case with Colby Halter. Colby Halter from Jacksonville, 6'1", 200-pound freshman. He is batting .329 on the season, 20 runs scored, 25 hits, 4 doubles, 3 home runs, but 20 RBIs, the third most on the team.
First pitch in there and low for a strike, though, so count moves to 0-1. And now here's the 0-1 pitch, and that one also in there for a strike, so count now moves to 0-2 to Halter as he looks to try and drive in Armstrong, who's standing on third, and extend the Gators' 1-0 lead here in the top of the second.
Jordan's almost at 30 pitches, not even through 2 innings. That's not what you want to see out of a starter.
Here's the 0-2 and a swing and a miss for strike number 3. So he gets out of it there with a great strikeout. And we will head to the bottom of the second. Gators lead it 1-0 on 2 hits. Meanwhile, the Gamecocks just 1 hit and now 1 error as well. We'll be right back after this quick break.
American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
Welcome back to Science Today. And we already have our next caller. Welcome. Who's this?
Hi, I'm Philip.
Hello, Philip. You sound really young.
Not really. I'm 9.
Oh, wow. You're still in elementary school, right?
Does that matter?
Oh, no, not at all. What's your question?
Well, I know the molecular formula for water is H2O. I also know that hydrocarbon is CH3CH2 50CH3. Glucose is C6H12O6. The general formula for an alkene is CnH2n plus 2. But what I can't seem to find is any scientific formula for Bob.
Bob?
My goldfish.
Are you ready for kids who eat healthy? Good nutrition can lead to great things. To find out how a healthy lifestyle can help your child succeed, go to mypyramid.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and USDA.
From the vantage point, Mafatu saw 6 war canoes drawn up on the beach. But what held the boy's eyes in awful trance were the figures, the eaters of men, cannibals. Mafatu watched the strange scene, powerless to move. In that very instant, he heard a crashing in the undergrowth. 4 figures were tearing through the jungle. He turned and ran blindly down the trail, thinking only of his canoe. If only he could reach it.
Welcome back here on the SC Network for this student broadcast of the Florida Gators taking on the South Carolina Gamecocks as we get set here in the bottom of the second. Stepping up to the plate for the Gamecocks is Andrew Esther here as the first pitch on the way, and that one in there for strike number 1 to start things off here in the bottom of the second.
In that short little commercial break, we did get a little inside look into the South Carolina dugout, and I will say, Brandon Jordan, not very happy about that 1 earned run he just got with 2 outs. He was not happy with himself.
You can tell he is a competitor and will want to come back out when he gets another chance and try to shut things down quickly. Meanwhile, here's the 1-2 pitch, and that one in there for strike number 3. So that's the second strikeout here for Leftwich to start things off in the bottom of the second.
You know, both these teams are ranked. They're both in the SEC, and they're both sprouting similar records. Florida 14-3. Or 16-6, I'm sorry, South Carolina 14-3. However, South Carolina has played arguably one of the best teams in college baseball, Vanderbilt.
No question about it. Now they're taking on another really good team here in the Florida Gators, as now we have David Mendham stepping up to the plate for the Gamecocks. Here's the first pitch on the way. That one high and outside for ball number 1.
When South Carolina took on Vanderbilt last week, and just as the Gators were playing Texas A&M, it was an SEC weekend for all these SEC teams. They did pull off a win on Sunday to miss the sweep, but Vanderbilt took 2 of those 3 games.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one in there for strike number 1, so count now moves to 1-1. And now as we get set here for the 1-1 pitch, Gators leading at 1-0 in the bottom of the second with 1 out. Pitch on the way. Here's a hard hit ball into center field. That's going to get down for a base hit as they throw the ball into second. So a base hit for Brendan Mendham. Start things off here in the bottom of the second. Or not start things off, excuse me, on the second at-bat.
A nice little kind of a high blooper into center field. Fabian got that one. Rivera was right there ready to kind of cover second base if needed, but quick single for Mendham.
Now stepping up to the plate for the Gamecocks is going to be Jeff Heinrich, who is batting .279 on the season for the Gamecocks. And here's the first pitch to him. That one low, but in there for strike number 1. Count moves 0-1.
He's got an interesting major, experimental psychology.
That is an interesting
I don't know
one.
what exactly that would be. I would think psychology is psychology. There really isn't any experimenting with it.
And now here's the 0-1 pitch, and that one in there for strike number 2. Oh, no, excuse me, in there for a ball. So count moves to 1-1. Looked like a strike there almost, but just on the inside. So Gators leading this one 1-0 here in the bottom of the second with 1 out. And now a runner on first for the Gamecocks. And here's the 1-1 pitch. And that one is in there for, it looked like it hit him, I think. And now he'll take his base. So runners now on first and second for the Gamecocks.
I always love when players do that. They see the ball coming in and they don't necessarily move out of the way because, you know, you want to get on base. You know, an extra person on base is a potential extra run, an extra stolen base, so much, what's the word?
I don't think that pitch even hit him by much because it really didn't look like it did.
No,
but
it looked like it barely grazed the letters.
Umpire came out and said that it hit him, so nonetheless, Gamecocks now with runners on first and second.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think hit by pitch is something that you can just review.
I don't believe so. I think I've seen
I
them
know
review
I've seen it,
before,
but that might
I
only
think
be
it's
in
a different
majors.
situation.
Yeah.
Yes. Here's the first pitch now to Colin Burgess. That one in there for ball number 1. Colin Burgess, the catcher for the Gamecocks, as he steps up to the plate, batting at .256, looking at a chance to drive in some runs here with runners on first and second here in the bottom of the second as they trail 1-0.
Burgess was the hero for South Carolina last night with that walk-off RBI single late in the 14th inning to give them the win.
There's the 1-0 pitch, and that one fouled off there, so count now moves to 1-1.
So something unique about South Carolina Stadium compared to Florida Ballpark is that they actually have cardboard cutouts. Florida Ballpark does not have cardboard cutouts in their brand new stadium.
And not just any cardboard cutouts, but some Chick-fil-A cardboard cutouts.
The best
they got
kind
some
of cutout
cows
you can
sitting
have.
in the stadiums. Also some fans as well.
Yeah, we have some fans, but there's a whole plethora of Chick-fil-A cows over on the first base side, right above the dugout. That's the best kind of cutout, I think. I'm assuming there's some sort of promo or giveaway or sponsorship happening there. So that's what I would like to see if I was going to see cardboard cutouts.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one in there for a ball, so count now moves to 2-1. Leftwich with 29 pitches so far in to start this game as he gets set here for the 2-1. Pitch on the way, and that one, another hit by pitch, so now the bases will be loaded for the Gamecocks here in the bottom of the second with just 1 out.
This is what you don't want to see for Florida, is your starter getting rattled early. Yes, he just hit 2 batters in a row. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's rattled or anything, but it might be that he's a little bit out of control, kind of missing with the accuracy early in the game. And for a team that used a lot of its bullpen last night, you don't want to be calling up on them this quickly. And we're going to see Sullivan come out to the mound here.
Well, it was a good start for Leftwich. He had 2 strikeouts at the start of this second inning, and then 2 straight hit by pitches after a base hit by Brendan Mendham. And now the Gators have themselves in a little bit of a situation with the bases loaded and just 1 out here in the bottom of the second, only leading by 1 run right now.
You got to imagine Sullivan went out there and was like, are you okay? Like, do I need to be concerned? Should we be worried right now? Or
Just
is this
to settle things
This is just
down.
a fluke, because it's just going to happen once.
Well, this will be a big test here for Leftwich to see if he can get back into the swing of things. He's had a great season so far, 4-0 with a 1.73 ERA, if I'm not mistaken. So if there's anybody that can get out of this, it's Leftwich, no question about it. But stepping up to the plate for the Gamecocks to try and drive in some runs now is George Khalil, the shortstop, who made that excellent catch earlier in the first inning.
Bases are loaded is always a very scary situation in baseball because there's just so much opportunity for the team at the plate to score. That being said, there is 1 out, double play opportunity.
Here's the first pitch. That one in there for a strike. So count now moves to 0-1 to Khalil.
George Khalil, hailing from Melbourne, Australia, the first player that I've seen all season not from the United States.
Now here gets set for the 0-1 pitch. Pitch on the way. There's a swing and a foul ball that goes back. So count now moves to 0-2. So Leftwich off to a good start here as he's got the chance to sit Khalil down on strikes.
What Leftwich doesn't want to see Khalil do is a sacrifice fly. You don't want to tie this game up. You want that double play or that strikeout. You want to eliminate any chance for this game to be tied.
0-2 pitch on the way. Now one outside for a ball. Good take by Khalil. Count now moves to 1-2.
See, if you ask me, and this is why I, too, am not playing this game, that pitch looked pretty good to me. Just a little bit off to the left, but still kind of hovering over that plate.
Definitely a smart pitch there when you got him down 0-2, but now 1-2 for Khalil as Leftwich gets set for the pitch. Pitch on the way, and there's a swing and a ground ball. That's going to get down. Here's to second, now to first, and they got him. There's the double play for the Florida Gators, and that'll end the inning here in the bottom of the second. So the Gators get out of themselves a bases-loaded situation, and they lead it 1-0. We'll be right back after these messages.
You're so annoying.
You're so annoying.
Stop copying me.
Stop copying me.
Mom, tell her to stop copying me.
Mom, tell her to stop talking to me.
Kids will spend 10 minutes copying everything their sibling says.
You're such a
You're
doofus.
such a doofus.
How about 2 minutes to brush their teeth? Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. For fun 2-minute videos to watch while brushing, visit 2min2x.org. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Mom!
A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
You are a healthy eater. Oranges for vitamin C, flaxseed and mackerel for omega-3s. But did you know the same foods that are good for your body, i.e. not beef jerky, are also good for your eyes? Yep, research shows proper nutrition can impact the development of cataracts and age-related macular degeneration, 2 leading causes of blindness. So keep up the healthy munching, my well-fed friend. And for more easy ways to keep keeping your eyes healthy, see your optometrist or visit AOA.org.
These are the sounds of someone taking their eyes off the road. Texting while driving is more than distracting. It's dangerous. Do Florida a favor. When you're on the road, stay off the phone. A message from CTIA, America's wireless companies, and the National Safety Council.
Hey you, yeah you, sit right there, I gotta tell you something. I bet you know someone with type 2 diabetes. Guaranteed, you know why? Because 1 out of every 3 little kids is gonna develop diabetes in their lifetime. That can lead to heart problems, strokes, and even blindness. I'm John Sally, and I'm telling you, it ain't gotta be that way. Now you can up your defenses by eating more fruits and vegetables, having more vegetarian and vegan meals. These steps can be the power plays to protect you and your family against the risk of diabetes. To learn more, go to blockdiabetes.org.
Welcome back here on the student broadcast here at the SEC Network. Gators lead it 1-0 against South Carolina right now as we get set to start the top of the third. Gators scored here late in the second inning off a Chris Armstrong triple. And now stepping up to the plate for the Gators is Josh Rivera. First pitch in there for ball number 1. So count moves to 1-0.
Josh Rivera kind of been struggling from the plate in comparison to the rest of the lineup when it comes to run production. Only 10 RBIs on the season, 22 strikeouts though. 1 triple, 3 doubles.
Now here's the 1-0 pitch. That one high. It'll go for ball number 2. So count now moves to 2-0. Rivera, good start for him to this at-bat. Now the 2-0 pitch, and that one low but in there for strike number 1. Count now moves to 2-1.
I was just saying that Rivera has the second highest amount of strikeouts on the team with 22. You know who has the number 1 amount of strikeouts?
Who's that?
Our favorite SEC player of the week, Judd Fabian.
Well, as you look at that, Judd Fabian does a good job hitting some home runs as well. So one good news there for the Florida Gators. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one fouled off and now moved for a strike. So count now moves to 2-2.
Judd Fabian also plays every game. Josh Rivera not always in every lineup, also contributes to the more strikeouts when you have more at-bats.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's a swing hit down into the center field, and here's a throw to first and not in time. So Josh Rivera gets his base hit And we'll get the first base runner at the top of the third here for the Gators.
Yeah, that ball was a nice shot all the way up the middle that is just barely grabbed by second baseman Braylon Wimmer, who has to run, jump, and throw. And that's just too much movement, transferring glove to ball to hand.
Once again, there wasn't any lack of effort from Braylon Wimmer there to try and make that play, but nonetheless, Rivera gets on base. So now it's taken up to the plate. We're going back to the top of the lineup. It's Jacob Young returning. And here's the first pitch, that one in there for strike number 1. Last time up, Jacob Young was a pop out to center field.
What you can say about the South Carolina team is that the hustle and work ethic of this defense is outstanding. Their ability to cover the field is impressive.
No question about it. They proved that already in this game so far. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing out, hit down to the shortstop. Throw to second. Now throw to first. And doesn't get him at first base. They got him at second. And now try to tag him. And he's safe. Jacob Young came off the bag there at first base after the ball got away and then had to come all the way back around and dive back into first, but he gets back in. A crazy play there. And at the end of it all, the Gators have Young safe on first, but an out at second.
For everyone who isn't actually able to watch this game, let me try to narrate what just happened for you. It looked like a scene out of Bugs Bunny cartoon. I mean, the amount of people running without a ball was insane. The ball gets past the first baseman, and it looks like it is thrown so hard that it bounces off the back of the wall right there. And Jacob Young thinks that this ball is gone in right field, obviously. Starts to take off for second. Notices that first baseman David Menhem actually has the ball now, who then begins chasing him in a circle before Young dives back into the bag.
They are reviewing this play now to make sure Young was safe at first, but you're right. I think that ball was thrown so hard that Young thought the ball got away, but it bounced all the way back right to the first baseman, which is Mendenham for the Gamecocks, and it did indeed bounce right off the dugout, came right back to Mendenham, which is why Young got caught up there, but did a great job of getting back into first, and he does look to be safe. We'll see how long this review takes this time.
To me, this review should take a little bit longer than the other one. The other one can be pretty decisive, but they got to review this play with all the chaos that was happening around first base.
So the Gamecocks do get the lead runner, though, and get one out. So as it sits right now, top of the third, we have one out and a runner on first here in the top of the third inning. Gators leading it 1-0 so far. Definitely looking to try and add to that here with a good start to the offense.
Now, I don't know the answer to this question personally, but in Major League Baseball, isn't each team allotted one play review call up until the 7th inning?
I believe that is correct.
So what is the rule with college? Because now we've seen 2 plays under review. Is there necessarily like a cap on how many each team can ask for, or in general they just go and look at it?
You can't quote me on this, but I believe these aren't challenges by the other team. I think this is just being reviewed by the umpires, and if I'm not mistaken, they can do that as many times as they want. They're just double-checking their call, which I believe is what is happening, because I haven't seen any signal from the dugout that they wanted to challenge those plays. But nonetheless, as we sit here and wait for the review, remember the call on the field was safe at first, so they're going to need clear evidence to overturn. And here's the call, and he is safe. So Jacob Young will remain at first base, but Gamecocks do get the lead runner and have one out now here in the top of the third.
What would you even write that as? I would not consider that a single by any means. I would call that an error.
I think it was an assist by the dugout. I don't know how you score that there, but no, that is definitely a tough one to score, no question about it, but nonetheless, Young on first.
Now we got SEC Player of the Week up right now, Jed Fabian.
That could have been dangerous, too. If that ball doesn't bounce back off of the dugout, that could have been a ground rule. They could have put runners on second and third potentially, or just on second.
Just on second because
Rivera because it wasn't out for second. There's the first pitch, that one in there for a ball. So count now moves to 1-0 here to Judd Fabian.
Well, Jacob Young's got wheels. If that ball gets in the dugout, he's on second. But if that ball goes in the outfield and that right fielder isn't prepared to back up, Young could be on third.
That's true. So it was a lucky bounce as they quickly check on Young at first, and he's in there and safe.
Like I said, he's got wheels. They don't want to see him running.
1-0 count now here to Judd Fabian. His first time up, he was also a flyout as well, looking to try and get his first hit of the day. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss there for strike number 1. So count now moves to 1-1 on Judd Fabian.
Nice smooth swing from Fabian. Looked like he tried to kind of fly that one into what could have been left field maybe, make this game 3-0, but swung and miss on that one.
Young takes a little bit of a lead off at first here now, and as we get set for the 1-1 pitch. Pitch on the way, that one low in the dirt for ball number 2, so count now goes to 2-1.
South Carolina knows how fast Jacob Young is and how much of a threat he is on the base path. On this season, he is 8 for 8 in steal attempts. They don't want to see him on second because that eliminates their chance for double play.
That's dangerous for pitchers all the time, too. They got to make sure that that base runner doesn't get too much in your head because then you start making mental mistakes to the batter. Here's the 2-1 pitch, swing and a foul ball down the third baseline, so count now moves to 2-2.
So something I like about this stadium, I don't know if you'll like it, but the monochromatic look that it's all red all around this field with the green outfield. It's a very different vibe compared to Florida. Florida is all blue with a blue outfield. I think Florida's, in a non-biased way, looks better when it's monochromatic like that versus this red and green action. That being said, it's very eye-catching.
Here's the 2-2 pitch, that one high in a way there for a ball, so count now moves to 3-2. And you're right, you know, every baseball stadium is unique. That's one of the fun things about the sports, that you get these different looks everywhere you go. Both stadiums very beautiful in their own rights.
What's your favorite stadium, college or professional?
Oh, man, that's tough. Real quick, 3-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss for strike number 3. Now the throw to second, and they got him in time. So a double play for the Gamecocks, and that's going to end the inning in the top of the third. I'll answer that question when we come back as the Gators lead at 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the third after these messages.
Welcome back to Science Today. And we already have our next caller. Welcome. Who's this?
Hi, I'm Philip.
Hello, Philip. You sound really young.
Not really. I'm 9.
Oh, wow. You're still in elementary school, right?
Does that matter?
Oh, no, not at all. What's your question?
Well, I know the molecular formula for water is H2O. I also know that hydrocarbon is CH3, CH2, 50, CH3. Glucose is C6H12O6. The general formula for an alkene is CnH2n plus 2. But what I can't seem to find is any scientific formula for Bob.
Bob?
My goldfish.
Are you ready for kids who eat healthy? Good nutrition can lead to great things. To find out how a healthy lifestyle can help your child succeed, go to mypyramid.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and USDA.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
From the vantage point, Mafatu saw 6 war canoes drawn up on the beach. But what held the boy's eyes in awful trance were the figures, the eaters of men, cannibals. Mafatu watched the strange scene, powerless to move. In that very instant, he heard a crashing in the undergrowth. 4 figures were tearing through the jungle. He turned and ran blindly down the trail, thinking only of his canoe. If only he could reach it before the savages overtook him. Explore new worlds. Find out what happens next by reading the book. Call it Courage.
And we're back here on the student broadcast of the SEC Network as the number 5 Florida Gators are taking on the number 25 South Carolina Gamecocks. First pitch here to Brady Allen in there and low for ball number 1. So count will go to 1-0. Alexa, you asked me what my favorite stadium was, college or major leagues, before we went to the break. My answer, Citi Field of the New York Mets. I got to go to one of those games. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That is swing and a miss for strike number 1.
Not what I thought you were going to go with.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool stadium. You got the apple down in center field. You got all these like bridge-like things in the background. Really gives you that Citi Field. It's a very fun stadium to go to. Now, granted, I haven't been to a ton of MLB stadiums, so there's a lot more that I think there's to experience. There's the 1-1 pitch. That one high hit into right field, and that one will be caught by Thompson for the first out of the inning.
See, I have this bucket list to go to every American League stadium before National League because I grew up watching American League teams first, and I've literally only been to 2. So I'm doing so well.
hey, you got plenty of time to go out there and do that. I think that's a very great bucket list to do. There's no question about it. I'd love to go all around to all these different stadiums. They are so unique in their own right. So now here's the first pitch. There's a swing and a miss, strike number 1. Then now we have Braylon Wimmer back in to the plate. His first time up was a strikeout, so looking to try and get himself a base hit in this one. 0-1 pitch now high, and that will move now the count to 1-1.
Now, the only two stadiums I've been to, Tropicana Field, obviously back here in Florida, right there in St. Pete, but the other one, all the way over in Canada, been to Rogers Center.
Look at that. Those are two stadiums that are not close,
two polar
close
opposites.
to each other. Here's the next pitch in there for strikes. The count now moves to 1-1 here to Braden Wimmer, 1-1 pitch and a swing and a miss for strike number 2. No, that's going to be a strikeout. The scoreboard was wrong on our screen, so Wimmer goes down on strikes for the second time, and the Gators pick their second out of the inning.
Leftwich seems to be kind of settled back into the game after a little rocky in the second inning after hitting 2 batters in a row to load the bases, got out of that one, and now he seems to have kind of calmed down and back to retiring batters the way that he usually does.
He's looked great ever since that bases loaded situation. So now setting up to the plate for the Gamecocks is Josiah Sider. He had a base hit his first time up, first hit here for the Gamecocks. First pitch on the way. There's a swing and a foul ball off the leg of Slider, and the count now moves to 0-1.
I wish you could see the face that I made because that made me cringe. That had to have hurt because that wasn't on the foot that has the shin guard. That's got the back of his right foot as he swung and it hit himself. That, to me, is my worst nightmare if I was batting.
Here's the 0-1 and a swing and a miss there for strike number 2. Great pitch there from Leftwich on the outside to get Slider swinging. And now we'll get set here for the 0-2. And here's the payoff. That one high and outside for a ball, so count now moves to 1-2.
In these 0-2 situations, you don't need to pitch the ball in the strike zone. You can kind of be creative, play around with it, get your batter to chase.
And Leftwich has done that very well so far in the 2 times he's been in this situation. Here's the next pitch, low and in the dirt. That's going to go for a ball. Count now moves to 2-2.
Maybe not that much of a chase. We had really far outside in the dirt.
Still
kind of in the range.
Well, count now at 2-2. 45 pitches so far for Leftwich here in the bottom of the third. 2 outs already for the Gators, looking to try and pick up that third. And now pitch on the way, and another hit by pitch. So after a couple of good at-bats from Leftwich, he now gets another runner on first after hitting him.
Harrison always tells me whenever we call games together that for some reason I have this ability to speak things into existence. And just when I said that he's calmed down from not hitting batters, he hits another batter.
It's the announcer's jinx is what it is. So now the Gamecocks will have a runner on first with 2 outs as they trail this one 1-0 in the bottom of the third.
I'll just retire my headset and go home now.
Wes Clark stepping up to the plate for the Gamecocks now. His first time out was a ground out.
Wes Clark is a big dude. Over 6 foot, looks like he's got to be over 200 pounds just by looking at how wide his shoulders are and how much arm strength he seems to have.
First pitch on the way, swing and a miss there for strike number 1. So great first pitch there from Leftwich to move the count to 0-1. Clark does have 11 home runs on the season too, so he's a guy that if he gets the right pitch, he can send that ball into the stratosphere.
He's leading the team in home runs, actually.
0-1 pitch on the way, and there's a swing and a foul ball back into the crowd, so count now moves to 0-2.
The only player for Florida that even is close to that amount of home runs is Judd Fabian with 8. I will say Florida, to me, not really a home run team. They're a solo shot team, but not these 3-run home run situations. There are a lot of singles and doubles, which, in my personal and professional opinion, is much more valuable than a bunch of home run hitters.
0-2 pitch way high, and that one's up there for a ball, so count now moves to 1-2. Great job there by Burgess to grab that ball and not let it get away, so the runner on first can't move to second, which is Josiah Slider, excuse me.
Yeah, you said that politely, like way outside. I'm talking like 5 feet above the catcher, way
trying
behind
to throw that
Wes
one
Clark.
back to Gainesville.
I know.
Well, here's the 1-2 pitch now, and that one also low and outside in the dirt, so count now moves to 2-2. So Leftwich having a little bit of trouble right now finding the zone, trying to get this strikeout with a runner on first.
32 strikes so far in this game, but 18 balls, and a lot of those balls haven't been, close call strikes. They've been high and outside and in the dirt.
Here's the 2-2 pitch, and that one again in the dirt and low, so count now moves to 3-2. So full count here for Wes Clark for the Gamecocks.
And you saw Nathan Hickey kind of look at Leftwich and go, let's settle down, just take a breath. You don't have to rush into every pitch like you are allotted this certain amount of time to collect your thoughts before you deliver this pitch.
Now the 3-2 pitch on the way, and that one outside for a ball. They're going to check it first, but he's good. So now runners on first and second for the Gamecocks with 2 outs.
I really wish those cow cutouts could move, because I think it'd be much funnier if they could applaud or do something in the same speed as the crowd does. But this is where you don't want to be for Florida. You don't want to have 2 runners on with 2 outs, because you're in the heart of the lineup now. You're now going to be facing Andrew Eister. Eister batting .275 on the season, but he's got 18 RBIs, second most on the team.
And now a hit by pitch on the first one there, so the bases are loaded once again here against Leftwich. We saw this last time in the second inning, and now we're facing it again here in the bottom of the third with 2 outs. So let's see if Leftwich can get out of this jam once again that he's put himself into.
You wonder if maybe he's just not throwing his best stuff today, or if he's got some arm tightness, what the mechanic issue is, or if he really is just rattled by this South Carolina bench, because they are slamming the dugout. They are making some noise.
That's his 4th hit by pitch so far in this game, second one of the inning so far. But if there's one good news for Gator fans, is that the last time this happened and head coach Sullivan came out to talk to Leftwich, as he came right back and did a great job of sitting these Gamecock hitters down. So let's see if he can do that once again.
Only been 2 2/3 innings. He's already at 53 pitches. So when I said earlier that you want your starter to be going 4 and 5 innings, it may not look like he will if he's already at 53 pitches.
Is the broadcaster's jinx again?
I know. I need to stop speaking.
So bases loaded, 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. The Florida Gators leading the Gamecocks 1-0 so far, but that lead in danger as Leftwich looks to try and get out of this jam.
South Carolina may be trailing, but they're not acting like it. They're very fired up.
Here's the pitch, first pitch in there for strike number 1. So count now moves to 0-1 here to David Medham. David Medham had a base hit last time up, so if there's any guy that can get a hit on this Gamecocks teams, it's Medham. He had a great hit last time up.
He's also 1 for 4 in bases loaded situations with 4 RBIs on a double that he had.
0-1 pitch is in there and inside for a ball, so count now moves to 1-1.
Now, I was saying that South Carolina is not acting like they are, losing right now. And morale and the mental aspect of baseball is so important for how the end result will turn out.
Here's the 1-1. Here's a high hit ball into right field. That one's going to come down, and the Gators will make the grab. So that was Thompson on the catch for the Gators. So they get out of the jam once again, and the Gamecocks leave the bases loaded. Gators lead it 1-0 on 3 hits, no errors. Gamecocks just 2 hits and 1 error so far. We're going to take another quick break, and we'll be back for the top of the 4th inning after this.
American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
Welcome back to Science Today. And we already have our next caller. Welcome. Who's this?
Hi, I'm Philip.
Hello, Philip. You sound really young.
Not really. I'm 9.
Oh, wow. You're still in elementary school, right?
Does that matter?
Oh, no, not at all. What's your question?
Well, I know the molecular formula for water is H2O. I also know that hydrocarbon is CH3, CH2, 50, CH3. Glucose is C6H12O6. The general formula for an alkene is CnH2n plus 2. But what I can't seem to find is any scientific formula for Bob.
Bob?
My goldfish.
Are you ready for kids who eat healthy? Good nutrition can lead to great things. To find out how a healthy lifestyle can help your child succeed, go to mypyramid.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and USDA.
From the vantage point, Mafatu saw 6 war canoes drawn up on the beach. But what held the boy's eyes in awful trance were the figures, the eaters of men, cannibals. Mafatu watched the strange scene, powerless to move. In that very instant, he heard a crashing in the undergrowth. 4 figures were tearing through the jungle. He turned and ran blindly down the trail, thinking only of his canoe. If only he could reach it before the savages overtook him. Explore new worlds. Find out what happens next by reading the book Call It Courage by Armstrong Sperry. For other great book ideas, visit literacy.gov. A message from the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
And we're back here on student broadcast of the SEC Network as the Florida Gators taking on the South Carolina Gamecocks as they lead it 1-0 here in the top of the 4th. And second pitch is in there for a strike. Sorry, came back a little bit late there. I'm starting this one off, but it's going to be Nathan Hickey at the plate for the Florida Gators. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Now one way high in the air for ball number 1, so count out moves to 1-2.
The reason we came back on late is we got in a little conversation about the streakiness and inconsistency of Florida Gator baseball so far this season, and it hasn't been the offense. It's been from the mound. Their pitchers are, they're hit or miss. One night Tommy Mays can go 7 innings with just 1 run and like 11 strikeouts, and last night he goes only 4 innings.
Now here's the 1-2 pitch and a swing and a miss for strike number 3. So the Gamecocks pick up another strikeout there, and they get the first out of the inning.
And one can say that, the difference in the length of pitching for a pitcher can vary on the quality of opponent. With that being said, Florida is just about to enter, the Lions' den when they take on number 3 Ole Miss next week and Vanderbilt just shortly thereafter. They need to kind of fix the streakiness they've been having.
Here's the first pitch now in there for a strike to Kirby McMullen for the Gators. Count now at 0-1.
McMullen with 17 RBIs on this season, .411 on base percentage.
Now here's a hard hit ball into the shortstop, and he can't hold on to the ball as it bounces into left field, and that's going to be a base hit or maybe even an error for McMullen here in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, I can't tell just by that first glance if the ball went off of shortstop George Khalil's glove or if it just got past him in general. It was that hard of a hit ball.
It was a rocket nonetheless, so definitely a hard one to come up with if you're the Gamecocks shortstop Khalil. So now we have Jordan Butler stepping up to the plate for the Gators. Here's the first pitch, and that one is in there for strike number 1, so count moves to 0-1. Last time Butler up here in the second inning was a ground out. Or line out, excuse me. He's looking now to try and get something going here with 1 out in the top of the 4th with a runner on first for the Gators as they lead at 1-0. 0-1 pitch, and that one they're going to check at the umpire at third, and he says no, he did not go, so count now moves to 1-1.
So I read something very interesting yesterday, and with the Major League season quickly on the horizon, we're just 4 days out from opening day, it had to do with minor league baseball and how players from the minors and majors, and I'm going to assume college as well, have adapted without being able to practice over summer.
1-1 pitch on the way. There's a ground ball to the first baseman. That's going to get up over to the second. Now throw to first, and he is safe at first. Wow, another crazy play over at first base. The first baseman for the Gamecocks, Menham, wasn't able to field the ball. It bounced over to their second baseman, Weimer, who quickly tried to get it back to first, but it was Jordan Butler beating out the throw.
I don't want to jinx this by saying that I feel like we're going to have to under-review this play again, but I have a feeling that's going to happen just by looking at this replay. He almost, it's impressive leg movement by Menham right there. He's kind of in a half split, but also falling on his back leg and reaching out, catching the ball. The ball beats Butler to the bag. The question is whether the ball was bobbled in the glove and fell out. That is why the umpire, he kind of went his hands up and down, I'm assuming to indicate that he bobbled the ball even though it beat him to the bag, and that is why Butler was safe originally on the call. I don't know if we're going to get a review, but I have a strong feeling that we will.
The good news is for the Gators is that the call on the field was safe, so that makes it a little more difficult to have it overturned. But we've seen 2 reviews. I think both were pretty clear. This one definitely the closest, and now it
Of
is
all of
under
them,
review.
yeah.
So this one might take the longest here, and we'll wait and see.
Well, like we were saying earlier, that some of these plays that are under review are so close that there really is no clear and convincing evidence to overturn it in either direction. You're kind of at the mercy of what the ump saw in the moment.
Well, if this stands, that'll give the Gators runners on first in second, although from that angle we're seeing now, it looks like he might be out, although it's really tough to tell.
It looks like the ball's in the web of the glove, but the problem is from the ump's view, that glove is behind the first baseman's back, so he really can't see for sure if it's in there, and it does look like it's bobbled, but to me, just from that angle that we saw kind of from the home plate looking onto first, it looks like the ball beat him there and the throw was in time.
Well, and actually, to our surprise, looks like we're going to get the call right now, and the call is safe. So I'm assuming that they did not have enough clear evidence to overturn that, which is the key, because remember, the call on the field was safe. So nonetheless, and the call stands. So the call, which means that they did not have enough evidence to overturn that. So Gators with runners on first and second here in the top of the 4th, and just 1 out, as now Sterling Thompson will step up to the plate for the Florida Gators. He had a base hit earlier in the 2nd inning.
They're seeing something that I just apparently am not seeing. I thought that call was actually going to get overturned.
I did too, but, well, I guess, again, as we said, that's why we're not umpires.
Yep.
But now Thompson looking to try and drive in some runs and extend that 1-0 lead here for the Gators in the top of the 4th. First pitch on the way, and a swing and a miss for strike number 1 here to Thompson.
Sterling Thompson with just 9 RBIs, not the most on the team. Again, he's not playing every day. .295 batting average, but he is 1 for 1 today. He is one of the only Gators to get things going from the plate.
1 runner in scoring position right now for Thompson. 52 pitches so far for Brandon Jordan here in the top of the 4th as he looks to try and get out of this jam. Here's the 0-1. That one low and in the dirt, and that's going to go for a ball, so count now moves to 1-1.
And props to Colin Burgess for stopping that ball. I mean, he did stop it with his body, and it rolled a little bit away, but he kept those base runners clung to their bags right there.
And now, here's we get set for the 1-1 pitch. And here it comes. Swing and a miss there for strike number 2. Ball gets away, though, and the runners will advance to both second and third. So now the Gators put 2 runners in scoring position. An unfortunate situation there for the Gamecocks, as they now have 2 runners threatening to score.
I'm telling you, the things that I am saying are just coming to fruition. I literally just said he's doing a great job blocking the ball. Blocks the ball, but it just goes too far this time, and the runners advance.
Well, Gators fans are going to ask you to call for maybe a home run or something like that. Meanwhile, Gamecocks are going to ask for a strikeout here.
Yeah. I should start, promoting myself a little bit.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one in there for strike number 3. So Sterling Thompson's going to go down looking, and that'll be the 2nd out of the inning here in the top of the 4th.
So what I was saying a little bit ago before all the craziness at first base and all the review calls was about pitchers and hitters, how they've had to adapt in the off-season without live pitching, without being able to practice with the team. And something that was unique to me was that pitching has advanced because pitchers can still throw at home. They can still throw 90. They can work on developing new pitches. They can work on accuracy, velocity, whatever. Hitters, they can't just go and get live pitching. If you don't have the equipment, you're just kind of stuck doing a lot of Little League drills back in your garage.
Chris Armstrong out to the plate for the Gators. He had the triple off of the error last time, I believe, for the Florida Gators. So he is looking to try and get another big hit here and clear those bases.
I think they're going to walk him to load the bases loaded.
Here's the first pitch, and there's a swing and a miss for strike number 1. So count now moves to 0-1.
Yeah, Colby Halter on the season so far, batting .329, 76 at-bats, 4 doubles, one of the highest ones on the team. Jacob Young actually leads the team with 10 doubles.
That's right. I apologize. I totally missed that. They did walk Armstrong to load the bases there. I was a little confused why they were showing runners on all three.
They didn't show it. Yeah, they didn't show him coming up to the plate and being walked. But I noticed that the first base little light up on the screen dinged, and I was like, well, someone's been walked.
Oh, great catch there. Here's the next pitch in there for a strike. So count now 0-2. So Kobe Halter at the plate here with 2 outs and the bases loaded for the Florida Gators. The first time they've had the bases loaded in this game.
And they do have 2 outs, but Colby Halter is one of the better guys to be at the plate in the situation. 25 hits on the season, 20 RBIs.
Here's the 0-2 pitch, and that's going to be called for strike number 3. So Halter goes down looking, and the Gamecocks get out of that one. Score remains 1-0 for the Florida Gators on 4 hits, 2 errors, and then for the Gamecocks, no errors for the Gators, and for the Gamecocks, 2 hits, 2 errors. We'll be right back for the start of the 5th inning after this.
A boy was rescued from abuse today by a magic trick. Witnesses say a bully had the boy pinned down.
Scott was hitting Timmy pretty hard, and I said somebody should do something.
Moments later, a street magician arrived on the scene. Police reports state he covered the bully with his coat. What happened next is still under investigation.
The bully turned into a bunch of kittens.
The victim left the scene unharmed.
Boy, you never see that happen.
That's because it doesn't. If you see abuse or neglect, learn what you can do from American Humane at BeHumane.org.
I'm Sally, a volunteer at United Way. I'm asking people around the neighborhood what they think this place needs. Excuse me, hi. What do you think this place needs?
I'd like to see more parking.
More playgrounds.
Free movies. That's easy. Better restaurants.
And you, what do you think this place needs?
This place? Oh, more ice cream trucks.
Okay. How about you?
Wi-Fi everywhere?
I was thinking more money in the pockets of local families come tax time.
Can I change my answer?
I was just kidding about the ice cream.
Oh, that's way better.
Now that you mention it.
When it comes to getting better tax refunds into the hands of local families, what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org. Because great things happen when we live united. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
These are the sounds of someone taking their eyes off the road. Texting while driving is more than distracting. It's dangerous.
Welcome back here to Student Broadcast on SC Network as we get set here for the bottom of the 4th. Here's the first pitch in there for strike number 1 to Jeff Heinrich for the Gamecocks. Now the 0-1 pitch, high hit here into center field, and Fabian will get back to make the catch there for the first out for the Gators.
Something kind of unique we saw in this stadium during the break was their outfield berm seating. You know, both Florida Ballpark and Founders Park have outfield seating, but what the difference is, in Gainesville, those outfield grass, that's all turf with white spray paint outline. This South Carolina grass looks to be actually real grass because you can see a couple of little dead patches out there with some red spray paint outlining the zones for each family to sit in.
Yeah, well, and it's Florida Ballpark, brand new as well, so you always get the nice new turf, but always nice to have that real feel of grass as well. Here's the first pitch, that one, swing out and a foul ball. Count will move to 0-1 to Colin Burgess, who last time up was hit by a pitch.
Colin Burgess was the hero last night for the Gamecocks with the walk-off RBI single in the 14th inning after 5.5 hours of play, the longest game in Gator history.
Now here's the 0-1, that one outside, the count will now move to 1-1.
The last longest game in Gator history was in 1996 against none other than LSU. It was 5 hours and 12 minutes.
Now the 1-1 pitch, there's a swing out and a foul ball down the third baseline, so count now moves to 1-2 for Burgess.
Something that I always like to do whenever I'm calling these games is to look at who sponsors the school's uniforms. In South Carolina, Under Armour, that's who they've got.
I think the Gators have one of the best
I would agree.
sponsors
They have
in all
Nike.
of sports.
They do have Nike, and honestly, the Nike swoosh is kind of unbeatable.
And there's a ground ball now to third base. The throw to first is in time for the second out here in the bottom of the 4th. That was McMullen on the grab and the throw to first. So now 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th for the Florida Gators. They lead this 1-0.
Burgess walking off of first base right there. Looks like he might be kind of limping. It looked like when he was just kind of jogging back. It wasn't very fluent in the way he was running. It seemed a little jagged that he was kind of hurting on his left foot. But we'll see if he'll come out.
We'll have to keep our eye on that. Now stepping up to the plate for the Gamecocks is George Khalil, and here's the first pitch to him as that one swung and fouled back as the count moved to 0-1. Gators also, they have the Nike sponsorship for baseball, but have the Jumpman sponsorship when it comes to football, which that one is also a great sponsorship as well. Here's the 0-1 pitch on the breaking ball that's in there for a strike. This count now moves to 0-2.
We talk about these uniforms, and I always like to talk about them. I think it's very interesting. But I just noticed this on the last commercial break is Leftwich's 23 on the back of his jersey. It's crocodile skin.
Here's
it's
the
orange.
0-2 pitch. That one just outside for a ball, so count now moves to 1-2. Yep, that is correct. It's hard to see from a far distance. As here's the 1-2 pitch. That one also outside for ball number 2, so count moves to 2-2. I really love that look, though. Nice little detail in there for the Florida Gators.
I'm curious if, like, on a feel, if it's actually texturized like crocodile skin or if it's just kind of a holographic image.
That's a good question, and one I unfortunately don't know the answer to is here's the 2-2 pitch and a swing out for strike number 3. So that'll be the third out of the inning. And it looks like George Khalil wasn't too happy about that call as he kind of just hangs out there in the batter's box. Nonetheless, though, the Gators end the inning as they lead it 1-0 here at the end of 4 innings. We'll be right back after these messages for the 5th.
Stop copying me.
Stop copying me.
Mom, tell her to stop copying me.
Mom, tell her to stop talking me.
Kids will spend 10 minutes copying everything their sibling says.
You're such a
You're
doofus.
such a doofus.
How about 2 minutes to brush their teeth? Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. For fun 2-minute videos to watch while brushing, visit 2min2x.org. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Mom!
A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
You are a healthy eater. Oranges for vitamin C, flaxseed and mackerel for omega-3s. But did you know the same foods that are good for your body, i.e. not beef jerky, are also good for your eyes? Yep, research shows proper nutrition can impact the development of cataracts and age-related macular degeneration, 2 leading causes of blindness. So keep up the healthy munching, my well-fed friend. And for more easy ways to keep keeping your eyes healthy, see your optometrist or visit AOA.org.
These are the sounds of someone taking their eyes off the road. Texting while driving is more than distracting. It's dangerous. Do Florida a favor. When you're on the road, stay off the phone. A message from CTIA, America's wireless companies, and the National Safety Council.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Sit right there. I got to tell you something. I bet you know someone with type 2 diabetes. Guaranteed. You know why? Because 1 out of every 3 little kids is going to develop diabetes in their lifetime. That can lead to heart problems, strokes, and even blindness. I'm John Sally, and I'm telling you, it ain't got to be that way. Now, you can up your defenses by eating more fruits and vegetables, having more vegetarian.
Welcome back here to the student broadcast on the SEC Network as that first pitch way up and high there for ball number 1 as Josh Rivera takes the plate for the Gators in the top of the 5th inning to get things started.
Maybe there's something in this wind that we are just not seeing because a lot of these balls from both Leftwich and Jordan have been high and very high at that.
Here's the 1-0 pitch, and there's a high hit ball, and that one is way foul down the third baseline. The count now moves to 1-1. Well, you know, Jordan has had 7 strikeouts so far for the Gamecocks, so only given up 1 run so far. Here's the 1-1 pitch, that one in there for a strike, so count now moves to 1-2. He's had a pretty good start to this game so far.
I know you think about it, Jordan has been pitching much more accurately and consistently than Leftwich has. Even though the Gators are winning, you take away that RBI double from Armstrong, Jordan's been pretty much lights out.
1-2 pitch on the way, and that one high again for a ball, so count now moves to 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. There's a swing and the ground ball down to third base, the throw to first, and that'll be in time for the first out of the inning.
You know, we were saying earlier back in the 3rd inning that both of these pitchers were over 30 pitches, and I didn't think we'd see them going into the 6th inning, but we might see Jordan right now. He's been pretty much very laid low since then with only 62 pitches, and
even though it's college, I feel like you still want to see your starter maybe hit 70 or 80 pitches. You want to overwork them, but you don't want to underwork them either.
Despite the struggles, both pitchers have done a good job of getting out of the situations that they found themselves in, which is why we only have a 1-0 game right now. Here's the first pitch, swing out on a high, hit ball down to left field, and to center, and that ball is caught for the second out of the inning. Sorry, the camera tricked me out there on that.
Yeah, I was looking, and I was like, left fielder Seitler is just kind of trotting along the track. He doesn't seem too adamant about getting this ball, and all of a sudden it's caught by Brady Allen out there.
And that was Jacob Young, who was just at the plate. So now stepping up to the plate for the Gators is Judd Fabian, who is 0 for 2 so far today with a flyout and a strikeout.
Again, 2 quick outs in an inning. These have been moving fast ever since those under review calls have happened.
Here's the first pitch. That one's in there for a strike. So count now moves to 0-1 to start things off to Fabian.
Considering last night was a long game with a lot of run production, this has been a quicker game with not a lot of run production.
I'm sure these guys do not want to be here for another 14 innings. They're looking
especially
to get this
since you
game
have a noon start tomorrow or 1 p.m. start tomorrow. You don't want to be out here even longer again.
Nope, not at all. Well, here's the 0-1 pitch now to Fabian. And that one in there for a ball. Just barely hit the outside of the zone, so count was the 1-1.
It's a really nice pitch, in my opinion. Like I'm surprised that Fabian didn't go for that one. It seemed to be just a little bit outside, but right over the plate.
Here's the 1-1, and that one fouled off in the dirt, and now the count will move to 1-2 here in the top of the fifth with 2 outs.
Judd Fabian's got a tattoo on the inner part of his right arm, and part of it's cut off from his baseball jersey, but I'm going to go with a guess, and I'm pretty sure it's a great guess. It looks like it says Philippians, and I'm going to assume it's Philippians, like 3:14, that very common Bible verse is what he might have on his right inside arm.
Here's the 1-2 pitch, and a swing and a miss for strike number 3. So that is going to be the 8th strikeout for the Gamecocks there as they end the inning. And now we'll take another quick break and head to the bottom of the 5th after this.
Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
Welcome back to Science Today. And we already have our next caller. Welcome. Who's this?
Hi, I'm Philip.
Hello, Philip. You sound really young.
Not really. I'm 9.
Oh, wow. You're still in elementary school, right?
Does that matter?
Oh, no, not at all. What's your question?
Well, I know the molecular formula for water is H2O. I also know that hydrocarbon is CH3, CH2, 50, CH3. Glucose is C6H12O6. The general formula for an alkene is CnH2n plus 2. But what I can't seem to find is any scientific formula for Bob.
Bob?
My goldfish.
Are you ready for kids who eat healthy? Good nutrition can lead to great things. To find out how a healthy lifestyle can help your child succeed, go to mypyramid.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and USDA.
From the vantage point, Mafatu saw 6 war canoes drawn up on the beach. But what held the boy's eyes in awful trance were the figures, the eaters of men, cannibals. Mafatu watched the strange scene, powerless to move.
Welcome back here on the SC Network for this student broadcast as we watch the number 5 Florida Gators take on the number 25 South Carolina Gamecocks. Gators lead it 1-0 here in the bottom of the 5th as Brady Allen steps up to the plate for the Gamecocks. First pitch is in there for a strike. Count moves to 1-0.
Through 4 innings, we've seen a lot of hit by pitches from Leftwich, but he's only had 2 hits, which is kind of surprising. It's been a much more slower day on the offense for both teams after a long offensive showdown last night.
2 hits, but 4 hit by pitches as that second one pitches in there for a strike. So count now moves to 2 here for Allen. He's got 4 strikeouts as well so far in this game, and Leftwich, despite the hit by pitches, got himself in a couple of jams, has gotten out of them both. So now here's the 0-2 pitch. That one outside there for a ball. Count moves to 1-2.
And at the end of the day, it doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to get done.
That is absolutely right. You can't have a perfect game all the time. So, and good teams find ways to win even when they're having a tough time out there. So, and now here comes, as we get set for the 1-2 pitch. That one in there for strike number 3. Gets him looking. That'll be the 5th strikeout there for Leftwich.
Yeah, 5 strikeouts on the day with only 2 hits. Those 4 hit by pitches. That's why we've seen so many runners left on base for South Carolina so far in this game. They've had 6 runners left on through 5 innings.
Talk about painting the corner on that one. That was a great pitch by Leftwich. Just snuck it in there at the bottom of the zone. Here's the first pitch now. And that one outside for a ball as Braylon Wimmer steps up into the plate. He is 0 for 2 so far with 2 strikeouts in this game. 1-0 pitch on the way, and that one is inside for a ball, so the count now moves to 2-1.
Yeah, I don't think catchers get enough credit for their ability to paint the corners and move the ball around. That does play a big part in the game, especially with some of those close pitches.
2-0 pitch on the way, and there's a swing and a miss there for strike number 1, so count now moves to 2-0 against Wimmer. Here, bottom of the 5th, 1 out for the Gators. They lead this one 1-0. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That one outside again for a ball as the count now moves to 3-1. Only run coming in there for the Gators in the 2nd inning so far in this one, despite having the bases loaded a couple times for the Gamecocks and once for the Gators. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Hard hit ball into center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Fabian comes to field this, and Wimmer's going to go for second, and he is in there for a double. A great job by Braylon Wimmer to get the Gamecocks in a double.
You could see Wimmer turning on the wheels. He was really running to second base because Judd Fabian, SEC Player of the Week, he's got the legs to get to that ball quick enough, and he's got the arm to throw him out at second. That ball just arriving a split second too short.
He was definitely, I think his helmet almost came off there on the run. That's how hard he was running, but he gets there in time for the first hit of the inning. So Gamecocks now have a runner on second. Stepping up to the plate for the Gamecocks now is Josiah Slider. He has a base hit and a hit by pitch so far in this one. Here's 3rd time up. First pitch on the way, and that's in there for strike number 1. So count now moves to 0-1 here.
South Carolina threatens here in the 5th inning, which honestly they've threatened in almost every inning. I feel like we've been in a bases loaded situation in the past 3 or 4 innings here. But this is the first one that to me feels almost earned by the offense. They've put up a hit after what seems to be just walks and hit by pitches to load the bases.
Both times the Gamecocks had bases loaded, it was due to at least 2 hitters being hit by pitch. This time a double from Braylon Wimmer to get things started. Here's the next pitch, and that one low and away for a ball, so count moves to 1-1.
Now, we can't quite see from here, but I am curious if there is anybody warming up in the Florida bullpen, because something that I've seen head coach Sullivan likes to do is sometimes he has a knack for taking out his pitchers earlier than maybe we think he might, which tends to work out for the best.
Here's the 1-1. That one inside for a ball. So count now moves to 2-1. Leftwich is at 79 pitches, so he's definitely starting to creep up there a little bit. It will be interesting to see what head coach Sullivan decides to do for the Gators here in this tight game.
Now I'm looking at the hitting summary for South Carolina. They're 3 for 15 today, batting just 200.
2-1 pitch on the way. Here's a swing and a foul ball. That one will get out of play, so count now moves to 2-2.
Slider batting .344 on the season, .525 slugging percentage, .438 on base percentage. He gets on base in one way or another.
And the Gamecocks would love for him to do that now with a runner in scoring position, trying to tie this game at 1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning with 1 out. And now here as we get set for the 2-2. And that one inside again for a ball. So count now will go to full 3-2 with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th.
This is a very crucial out to me because if you walk him, you're in that double play situation. So maybe you do that. Maybe you allow yourself the walk to get out of the jam quicker. Or do you just strike him out right here and hope that the next batter doesn't do anything productive?
Here's the 3-2, and it's going to be a walk, so that'll move runners to first and second now. to start things off here in the bottom of the fifth with just one out. Well, it seems like Leftwich almost performs better sometimes when there's runners
stress
on
on.
base. So we'll see if that can continue here. Or maybe he gets pulled now at 82 pitches.
As he is getting up there, and I'm sure it looks like Sully is about to say something onto his walkie-talkie out to the bullpen about getting somebody warmed up, or if someone's already warming up, getting them warmed up faster.
Definitely looks that way. Wes Clark is going to step up to the plate for the Gamecocks. He has a ground out and was walked earlier in this game, and now his third time up.
Wes Clark leading this team in almost every single offensive category with 23 RBIs, 11 home runs, and 22 walks.
Here's a swing and a high hit ball to right field. This ball's got a chance, and it is gone. A 3-run home run for Wes Clark, and just like that, the Gamecocks have taken a 3-1 lead in the bottom of the fifth.
Well, like I said, leading in every category and moves that 11 home run total to 12 on the season. Very long shot out to right field. Gets past the grass, but lands on the concrete back there.
That ball right in the perfect spot for Clark as he crushed that one down to right field.
Some fans going home with a souvenir. It looks like a young kid out there in a black Under Armour shirt picked up that ball. He's going home with a memory today, and possibly an eBay sell, too, if he wants to get creative.
Could hold on to that one if Clark gets up in the major leagues maybe one day. Well, all right, here's the next pitch. That one low and away for a ball as now Andrew Eister steps up to the plate for the Gamecocks. He has a strikeout and a hit by pitch so far in this one.
That's one of my favorite things about baseball is finding those like knickknacks from players who are now, famous, their rookie seasons or even their college seasons. Because who gets a ball hit by Mike Trout in his freshman year of college and thinks this is going to be worth so much one day?
Yeah, I don't think many people, and that's credit to those people who can always hang on to those balls because you never know who can become one of the top players.
My brother was one of those people. We used to go to a lot of Tampa Bay Rays games growing up, and we used to go at BP, and he's got a bucket of balls that are from batting practice.
Here's the 1-0 pitch and a swing and a miss there on the breaking balls. The count now moves to 1-1 here in the bottom of the fifth with one out. Gators looking to try and get out of this inning with only 2 runs damaged. And now another hit by pitch from Leftwich. So now that'll take a runner on first.
You can see Leftwich is very upset with himself. He seemed to almost curse at himself as Eister took the bag. He's not happy with how he's performing. And besides that 3-run shot, the only problem he was having was the inconsistency with finding the strike zone. He was just hitting a lot of batters, and he hits his 6th one on the day.
You have to think he's going to be coming out of this game soon. Can't be in there much longer now at 86 pitches.
Yeah.
But stepping up to the plate for the Gamecocks is going to be David Menham. He's got a base hit in this game and a fly out as well in his 3rd time up. Here's the first pitch to Menham. Swing and a miss there for strike number 1. So Leftwich gets off to a good start at this at-bat. Count moves to 0-1.
Gators have been having a lot of struggle from the mound so far, like I was saying earlier. Sometimes their starter can go 7, sometimes they only go 4, and this is another one of those instances where they seem to be struggling early, and they never seem to fix their struggles, and the bullpen hasn't been consistent either.
Here's the 0-1 pitch, and there's a ground ball, and that one's picked up in the throw to first, and in time for the second out. Runner does move over to second, though, for the Gamecocks to put one in scoring position.
But with the Gators now kind of in the heart of their next SEC series, they're going to be taking on Ole Miss next week. The only opponent to be ranked higher than them so far this season, I was saying last week how imperative it was for the Gators to come out and dominate over Texas A&M, and they did that. But they need to do the same here. If they lose 2 games South Carolina, it's going to do such a damage to morale coming home to face the number 3 team in the country.
Jeff Heinrich now stepping into the plate for the Gamecocks. Here's the first pitch. That one in there at the knees for strike number 1. Count moves to 0-1. Last time, Heinrich had a fly out but was hit by pitch earlier in the 2nd inning. So he has not had a base hit so far in this one.
Heinrich's got some very nice curly hair at the bottom of his helmet. I saw it a couple innings ago, and I was like, someone's got some nice flow going.
If I'm not mistaken, for the Gators, the Chris Armstrong has a nice little flow going as well.
Nathan Hickey was sporting the mullet for a while. I don't know if he's cut it. I support the cutting the mullet decision. if he can hear me, I think he should. But he had a mullet for a while. I think he still has it.
0-1 pitch and a swing and a miss there for strike number 2. So count now moves to 0-2 here. Leftwich looking to try and get out of this inning with only now trailing by 2 here for the Gators as the Gamecocks lead at 3-1 in the bottom of the 5th.
You'd like to see Leftwich finish out this inning. He's got 2 outs. He is at 90 pitches. He's got 2 strikes. I mean, he's so close to getting out of this jam.
Let's see if he can do it here on the 0-2. And that one way outside there for a ball, so count now moves to 1-2.
I will say his balls that are really close to the strike zone are very well put. He's trying to make that hitter chase, and they're just not budging. They're very disciplined at the plate.
He's been really good today for a couple of minor mistakes, mainly those hit by pitches, which has put him in a couple of those jams, and one came back to bite him. As here's the 1-2, that one fouled off, so count will remain at 1-2 now.
I always felt that hit by pitches is such a rarity in baseball nowadays with the amount of accuracy that pitchers have. But this has got to be probably not a record, but a record so far this year as to how many hit by pitches that have been made by one pitcher in one game.
Here's the funny thing, despite all the hit by pitches, the home run no one was on base because of the hit by pitch. It was a walk and a double. Here's the 1-2 pitch now, swing out in a foul ball, so count remains at 1-2.
Got some nice sponsors on the back of the South Carolina wall here. I saw Bojangles and Aflac, 2 companies that kind of funny that they're sitting side by side, fried chicken and a duck with car insurance, you know,
That's a
or
good
health
point.
insurance.
You know, maybe Aflac's have to give the Gamecocks a call and get that moved. Here's the 1-2 pitch, that one low and in the dirt, and count will now move to 2-2. They did just show us an angle of one of the Florida Gators bullpen warming up. So I would imagine we do have a new pitcher coming in. The Gators would hope in the next inning, and hoping Leftwich can get the strikeout here.
And we saw Franco Aleman, Christian Scott, and Ben Speck last night, so you got to assume it's not one of those guys. Maybe it's Manning or Milchin.
Here's the 2-2 pitch, and that one again fouled away there, so count remains at 2-2 now. Up to 95 pitches here for Leftwich is the 8th pitch of this at-bat here to Jeff Heinrich. He's done a good job so far fouling off these pitches and keeping himself in this at-bat.
And even though South Carolina now has the lead, they've been playing as if they had the lead this whole game. They've been upbeat. They haven't been beating themselves up over little fluke incidences, some calls that didn't go their way. They've been playing as if they've been winning the whole time.
2-2 pitch on the way, and another hit by pitch for Leftwich. Helmet almost came off of Heinrich on that one, hit him behind in the back. So now runners on first and second for the Gamecocks with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th as they now lead it 3-1 after the home run from Wes Clark.
Yeah, that ball seemed to almost hit the back of his helmet on the underneath and pop it up.
But it's all smiles for the Gamecocks Heinrich as they know they get another base runner and as they look to extend their lead. Here comes head coach Sullivan back out for the Gators, and I think we're going to get our pitching change. So that's going to do it for Leftwich as he goes and heads to the dugout. 3 earned runs. He had 5 strikeouts so far in this game. Now coming into the game is not, if we can quite see who it is, it's going to be Franco Alman coming into this game.
Yeah, Sullivan was not happy when he came out there to take the ball. I don't think many words were exchanged. I think it was, give me the ball, let's get somebody else in here. I don't think it was a high upbeat time out there on the hill.
Definitely frustrating for the Gators as they've had a little bit of offense but haven't been able to get too many runs in. So they're only down by 2 so far in this game. So if you can get out of this situation and quickly get some offense going, still the bottom of the 5th here. Lots of baseball still left to be played.
Now while Franco Aleman begins to warm up, we're going to go to a quick commercial break and we'll be back in just a few moments.
Sound of someone correctly installing a car seat. And this is the sound of someone incorrectly installing a car seat. Correctly, incorrectly. Hear the difference? No? That's because installing a car seat incorrectly is terribly easy. So much so, 75% of adults install them wrong. For simple instructions on how to get it right, visit buckleupforlife.org. Ah, perfectly executed. Brought to you by Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center.
My name is Ruth Rusi, and this is how I live United. I read to children as part of United Way's education program. It helps them create links between language and literacy and prepares them for a better academic future. I figure I have the time and they have the need. My name is Ruth Rusey. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Hey, Russell Wilson here, and I know how important exercise is.
It's essential. It's essential.
With Play 60, United Way and the NFL are helping kids stay active and play at least 60 minutes a day.
Healthy kids. Healthy kids.
But what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60 because great things happen when we live united.
Donate.
Are you guys going to do that every time?
Welcome back here to the student broadcast here on the SEC Network as the number 5 Florida Gators taking on the number 25 South Carolina Gamecocks. Gamecocks lead it 3-1 here in the bottom of the 5th with 2 outs. Here's the first pitch in there for strike number 1 on the swing and a miss there.
Franco Aleman so far on the season sporting a 5.28 ERA, 13 hits on the season, given up 9 earned runs, 8 walks, but 19 Ks. Despite only having a record of 0-1, he's been pretty consistent from the hill.
Here's the 0-1 pitch, and there's a swing and a ground ball, but that's going to be foul, so count moves to 0-2 now.
Head coach Sullivan definitely called on him to get out of this jam and hopefully get through the 6th as well, maybe even the 7th before you bring in a closer or another relief pitcher.
Colin Burgess up at the plate right now for the Gamecocks. He is 0-for-1 today, was hit by a pitch earlier in this second inning.
Burgess, the hero of last night that ended up ending that 5.5-hour game with an RBI single for the Gamecocks. Definitely the pinnacle celebration came from him last night.
Looking to add to their lead right here. Here's a swing and a ground ball that's going to go foul, so count remains at 0-2 here. The runners on first and second here in the bottom of the 5th with the Gamecocks leading it 3-1 after they got a home run from Wes Clark earlier in the inning to take the lead. A 3-run home run to be exact.
With Florida going in to face Ole Miss next weekend, they can't lose 3 in a row. I know we have a game tomorrow, but just thinking ahead, you don't want to be on a 3-loss streak taking on the number 3 team in the country.
Here's the 0-2 and a swing and another foul ball, so count will stay at 0-2 here at the 4th pitch of this at-bat.
Now, if you look behind home plate, we got some fan cardboard cutouts, it looks like, which we don't have back here in Gainesville. But there's a cute little cutout of this sweet little old woman, and it reminds me of Sister Jean from Loyola, Chicago, because March Madness is on the mind. And whenever I see some sweet little old lady, I just think of that.
0-2 pitch as Alman looks to get out of this jam for the Gators. Pitch on the way. Swing and a ground ball, and the Gators will grab that, throw to first, and it's in time, so the Gators get the 3rd out of the inning as Halter makes sure they get out of this jam. So that's going to do it here for the end of the 5th inning. South Carolina leads it 3-1. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Welcome back to Science Today. And we already have our next caller. Welcome. Who's this?
Hi, I'm Philip.
Hello, Philip. You sound really young.
Not really. I'm 9.
Oh, wow. You're still in elementary school, right?
Does that matter?
Oh, no, not at all. What's your question?
Well, I know the molecular formula for water is H2O. I also know that hydrocarbon is CH3, CH2, 50, CH3. Glucose is C6H12O6. The general formula for an alkene is CnH2n plus 2. But what I can't seem to find is any scientific formula for Bob.
Bob?
My goldfish.
Are you ready for kids who eat healthy? Good nutrition can lead to great things. To find out how a healthy lifestyle can help your child succeed, go to mypyramid.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and USDA.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
From the vantage point, Mafatu saw 6 war canoes drawn up on the beach. But what held the boy's eyes in awful trance were the figures, the eaters of men, cannibals. Mafatu watched the strange scene, powerless to move. In that very instant, he heard a crashing in the undergrowth. 4 figures were tearing through the jungle. He turned and ran blindly down the trail, thinking only of his canoe. If only he could reach it before the savages overtook him. Explore new worlds. Find out what happens next by reading the book Call It Courage by Armstrong Sperry. For other great book ideas, visit literacy.gov. A message from the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
Hey, Russell Wilson here, and I know how important exercise is.
It's essential. It's essential.
With Play 60, United Way and the NFL are helping kids stay active and play at least 60 minutes a day.
Healthy kids. Healthy kids.
But what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60 because great things happen when we live united.
Donate. Donate.
Are you guys going to do that every time?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
There are some things you can only do once in a lifetime. Graduate high school. Get your first job.
Welcome back here to the SEC Network, the student broadcast. Number 5, Florida Gators taking on the number 25's South Carolina Gamecocks here at Founders Park. Here's the first pitch to Jacob Young, a high hit ball into center field, and that one will be caught for the first out here in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, Nathan Hickey really tried to put some speed on that ball and get it out of this park, but it's just going to land a little bit short in center field.
Nathan Hickey, not Jacob Young. So now stepping up to the plate for the Gators is Kirby McMullen. 1 for 2 so far today with a single so far in this one.
McMullen with my favorite bat on the Gators lineup, that bright neon orange bat. It really draws the eye right to the strike zone, and honestly, it could be strategic trying to kind of get Brandon Jordan to kind of look away from the strike zone, get distracted by that bright bat.
1-0 pitch on the way. That one fouled, and now the count will move to 1-1 here in the top of the 6th with 1 out for the Gators.
Jordan so far today through 5.1 innings, only given up 4 hits. He's got 8 Ks so far on the day.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. There's a ground ball that will go foul down the third baseline. So count now moves to 1-2 for Kirby McMullen.
He's extended his season strikeouts to 46 of those 8 Ks today, which is quite impressive with only being about a month into this season.
Well, anytime you can hold the number 5 Florida Gators to just 1 run, that is quite the impressive run. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one in there for a ball. So count now moves to 2-2. 73 pitches so far for Jordan. Doing a very good job at keeping those pitches down. Here's the 2-2. And that one in the dirt for a ball, so count goes full at 3-2 now.
So far, the Gators hitting summary. They're 4 for 20 plate appearances with 8 strikeouts. They've been 1-7 for runners and scoring runners on, 0 for 3 of runners in scoring position, and in 2 outs, they've only been 2 for 6. They've only had 1 extra base hit, and that was off Chris Armstrong's RBI double earlier in this game.
And here's the 3-2 now. That one swung out, a foul ball. And the count will remain at 3-2 now.
I do wish sometimes that these were nighttime games because nothing quite beats the lights on the field and just kind of the different atmosphere you get between a nighttime game and a daytime game.
3-2 pitch once again. And that one is in there for strike number 3. And Kirby McMullen was not happy about that call. He thought he had the walk, but nonetheless, he goes down on strikes.
Yeah, he threw his bat back to the dugout thinking that he was a shoo-in for first, but catcher Colin Burgess really framed that pitch really well. It looked to be a little bit low, but he seemed to frame it a little bit higher than maybe it would have landed, and the ump called that one a strike, and McMullen's back in the dugout.
He had a little bit of words, too, for the umpire on his way back there. Nonetheless, so Jordan Butler will take the plate for the Gators as first pitch is in there for a strike. Now 2 outs for the Gators here on the top of the 6th. They trail 3-1.
Now, South Carolina just recently took the lead back in the 5th with that 3-run shot from Wes Clark, but Gators had been leading this game through almost 5 innings, but they weren't playing like it. South Carolina, despite being under just the 1 run, fired up. They were cheering on. They were playing with excellence out in the field. Not a lot of errors. And from the dugout, they were cheering them on.
1-1 pitch here, and there's a high hit ball into center field. This ball headed back, and it's going to be caught just before the warning track for the third out of the inning. So that'll do it for the Gators in the top of the sixth as they still trail 3-1. Gamecocks will look to extend their lead in the bottom of the sixth. We'll be right back after these messages.
Go with your children. We say the Pledge of Allegiance together. I'm one out of every 4 children in America, and I'm struggling with hunger. I'm lucky to grow up where I could be whatever I want. I want to grow up and be someone who doesn't go to bed hungry. Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank. Every dollar you donate helps provide 7 meals for kids like me. Together, we're Feeding America. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
In the news, a small boy was rescued from abuse today by a magic trick. Witnesses say a bully had the boy pinned down.
Scott was hitting Timmy pretty hard, and I said somebody should do something.
Moments later, a street magician arrived on the scene. Police reports state he covered the bully with his coat. What happened next is still under investigation.
The bully turned into a bunch of kittens.
The victim left the scene unharmed.
Boy, you never see that happen.
That's because it doesn't. If you see abuse or neglect, learn what you can do from American Humane at BeHumane.org.
I'm Sally, a volunteer at United Way. I'm asking people around the neighborhood what they think this place needs. Excuse me, hi. What do you think this place needs?
I'd like to see more parking.
More playgrounds.
Free movies.
That's easy. Better restaurants.
And you, what do you think this place needs?
This place? Oh, more ice cream trucks.
Okay. How about you?
Wi-Fi everywhere?
I was thinking more money in the pockets of local families come tax time.
Can I change my answer?
I was just kidding about the ice cream.
Oh, that's way better.
Now that you mention it.
When it comes to getting better tax refunds into the hands of local families, what this place needs is you.
Welcome back here on SC Network as the student broadcast. We had a quick first pitch there for a strike 0-1 as George Khalil steps up to the plate for the Gamecocks. Here's the 0-1 pitch and another foul ball. So count now goes to 0-2.
Franco Alamán came and relieved Leftwich last inning, but on the season, Alamán has a 5.17 ERA, 15.2 innings he's thrown, 19 strikeouts.
Gamecocks looking to add to their great 3-run inning last up in the 5th here in the bottom of the 6th now. There's the 0-2 pitch, and that one in there for strike number 3. So Khalil will go down looking on strikes, and Alamán has his first strikeout of the game.
Yeah, moves himself up to 20 Ks so far in the season with just 8 walks, 9 earned runs. But when you got 20 Ks, it looks impressive to be a middle inning reliever.
No question about that. So now step up to the plate at the top of the lineup for the Gamecocks. Brady Allen is up for South Carolina. He's 0 for 3 so far in this one. 2 flyouts and a strikeout looking so far in this game. Here's the first pitch. That one is outside for a ball. So count moves to 1-0.
Yes, Florida and South Carolina are both dead even with hits, both with 4 on the day. South Carolina, though, with the 2 errors, despite having the lead right now. They have been a little sloppy on the defense with those first base calls we've seen today.
Here's the 1-0. Swing out a ground ball. That's going to be caught. Now the throw to first, and it's in time for out number 1. Great job by Rivera to pick up out number 2. Great job by Rivera to pick up that ball and get the throw to first.
These innings have been moving so fast that some of these outs just get blurred together. It's been about a minute and a half.
They really do. Quick moving game right now, but as we kind of mentioned before, I think both the Gators and South Carolina are enjoying that right now after a 14-inning game last night for these two teams. So stepping up to the plate now for the Gamecocks is Brandon Wimmer. His first pitch is in there for ball number 1, so count moves to 1-0.
Wimmer with a double already today. He did have a solo shot in the 14th inning, like we were saying, to tie up the game. Eventually, South Carolina would win just a few moments later, but he was very clutch in that late appearance last night.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one in there for a strike at the knees. The count moves to 1-1 now here in the bottom of the 6th with 2 outs. Gators still trailing 3-1 here as they look to try and hold South Carolina to 0 runs. Here's the 1-1, and that one fouled off for a strike. Count moves to 1-2.
looks like it was fouled off and hit himself in the back shin. A lot of these players have been fouling onto themselves today. I feel like we've seen 6 hit by pitches, but a lot of hit by swings as well.
Going to be a lot of ice packs going around tomorrow in the South Carolina dugout. So as we get set here for the 1-2 pitch on its way. Swing and a miss for strike number 3. A great job by Franco Alaman to pick up another strikeout, and that'll end it for the 6th inning. Gators back up here in the top of the 7th when we come back after these messages.
So annoying.
Stop copying me.
Stop copying me.
Mom, tell her to stop copying me.
Mom, tell her to stop talking to me.
Kids will spend 10 minutes copying everything their sibling says.
You're such a
You're
doofus.
such a doofus.
How about 2 minutes to brush their teeth? Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. For fun 2-minute videos to watch while brushing, visit 2min2x.org. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Mom!
A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
You are a healthy eater. Oranges for vitamin C, flaxseed and mackerel for omega-3s. But did you know the same foods that are good for your body, i.e. not beef jerky, are also good for your eyes? Yep, research shows proper nutrition can impact the development of cataracts and age-related macular degeneration, 2 leading causes of blindness. So keep up the healthy munching, my well-fed friend. And for more easy ways to keep keeping your eyes healthy, see your optometrist or visit AOA.org.
These are the sounds of someone taking their eyes off the road. Texting while driving is more than distracting. It's dangerous. Do Florida a favor. When you're on the road, stay off the phone.
Welcome back here on the SC Network, student broadcast. The Florida Gators taking on the South Carolina Gamecocks. Gators trail it 3-1 right now as we get set here in just a minute to get started in the top of the 7th. Let's do a quick recap so far in this one. The Gators took an early 1-0 lead in the 2nd inning after a triple by an RBI double, then got to 3rd off a bobble in the right field corner. But then it was the Gamecocks in the 5th inning after a 3-run bomb from Wes Clark to give them the 3-1 lead. And now here in the top of the 7th, they lead it by 2. Here's the first pitch there in there for strike number 1. And right now, Josiah Slider in the plate for the Gators. 0-1 pitch, and that one swung out and fouled off. Count moved 0-2.
Sterling Thompson so far on this season batting .290. He hasn't been necessarily super productive from the plate, but he has had 9 RBIs and 3 doubles.
0-2 pitch on the way. Here's a swing and a shot down into right center field. And that one's going to be caught for out number 1 for the Gamecocks. Great job by Allen to move along there and make that grab.
We're back at the bottom of the lineup here, and the only part of the lineup to really be super productive today, Armstrong with the only RBI today, back in the 3rd inning, giving them the lead, which has now been diminished by the home run from Wes Clark.
Here's the first pitch to Armstrong. That one outside and low for a ball, so count moves to 1-0.
Batting .300 on the year with 11 RBIs, one of them coming courtesy today. He does a lot of good things from that 7th hole in the lineup.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one inside again for a ball, so count now moves to 2-1.
Now, we were saying that South Carolina is playing with a lot of pep in their step, but the fans so far, not so peppy. Very quiet today, very demure.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. That one outside now for a ball, so count moves to 3-0. I think they are exhausted still from the 4th. They had a huge celebration, and rightfully so, after that walk-off hit in the bottom of the 14th, so I think they're just kind of resting right now. 3-0 pitch on the way. That one in there for a strike, so count now moves to 3-1 here on Armstrong.
Well, in that 4 o'clock game start, it's a good game because you're getting the nighttime experience without it being super dark out, but I feel like time just kind of blurs together. You really don't know which way is up, which way is down when it's a 4 o'clock start.
3-1 pitch on the way. There's a swing and a hard hit ball there down in the right field. That one's going to get down. Armstrong rounding first. He's going to head to second, and he's in there for a stand-up double. So Chris Armstrong continues his success at the plate and his 2nd hit of this ball game.
both being doubles. And he's a pretty big dude, so not only does he have power to hit it that far into the outfield, but he's also got some speed to get himself all the way to second.
Great job to turn and hit that ball all the way down to the corner. And again, this is the second time we've seen that now, that right fielder a little bit of trouble fielding that ball. Last time, Armstrong was able to get all the way to third, but this time only to second.
Maybe the ball's a little slippery. You know, I always talk about how you have chalk on the mound, sometimes pine tar, even though, you know, that's not really being used. But that ball gets tossed and torn all game. You never know if it's slippery from just the sweat of Jordan's hand.
Kobe Halter now steps up to the plate for the Florida Gators. He is 0 for 2 so far tonight with a strikeout and a strikeout looking so far in this game. Quick meeting at the mound for the Gamecocks as the Gators threatening to try and score with a runner on second and 1 out here in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, their first mound visit for the Gamecocks today, and got to hand it to Jordan. He's been pretty lights out at the hill today. Gone 7 innings, only 87 pitches. I mean, in my opinion, he's good to finish this inning out. I mean, he has got 1 runner on, 1 out. Maybe we'll even see him in the 8th.
Time will tell here, and depending on how he handles this situation here. Make sure to keep it right here on SC Network as we have the number 5 Florida Gators taking on the Gamecocks at noon tomorrow. Should be another good one here in this 3-game series. Here's the first pitch, and that one fouled off for strike number 1 to Kobe Halter.
Now, this is both South Carolina and Florida's second SEC series, both being on weekends. Florida swept A&M last weekend. South Carolina fell 1-2 against Vanderbilt. Now, Vanderbilt being the number 1 team in the country, it's a little more understandable versus an unranked Texas A&M. But this series is very pivotal for Florida going forward when they're about to face Ole Miss next weekend.
A 1 pitch in there for strike number 2, so count now moves to 0-2 on Halter here in the bottom of the 7th top of the 7th, excuse me, with a 1 out and a runner on second.
And Florida's got no midweek matchups coming back to Gainesville, so it's just Ole Miss next weekend, and that nice 5 days off might be good to, you know, recuperate, regenerate that energy, but also the last sting is going to be this series.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one swung out here into high right center, and that ball will be caught for out number 2 here now for the Gamecocks. With Gators still have a runner in scoring position here in the top of the 7th, trailing by 2.
Now, after this game concludes, you can catch Kentucky against Auburn. Another good SEC matchup will start at 7 p.m. tonight.
You know, there's a lot of top-ranked teams in the SEC. They showed early all of the ranked SEC teams. One of them being Vanderbilt as well in the top spot. They got a couple of teams in the top couple of spots, and then South Carolina rounding out at the bottom of sitting at 25 right now.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm going to double check with the actual rankings, but I'm pretty sure that the top 5 spots all belong to SEC teams.
Here's the first pitch now in there for a ball to Josh Rivera. I believe you are correct.
Yes, it is. Vanderbilt is sitting at number 1. Arkansas at number 2, Mississippi State at 3, and Ole Miss at 4, and our very own Orange and Blue at 5.
Here is now the 1-0 pitch to Rivera. That one in there for a strike on the breaking ball, so count now moves to 1-1. Well, this is a big chance here for the Gators. They got that early double from Chris Armstrong with 1 out. It'd be nice to get a run here in the 7th and try and cut that lead to just 1. Here for the Gators before time starts to run out.
Yeah, hitting hasn't been a problem for the Gators so far this season. They've had a lot of double-digit wins, but every now and then they have these little just bumps in the road where they can really get nothing done from the plate.
Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that one swung and fouled off, so count now moves to 1-2 for Rivera.
It doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be good. It just has to get the job done. It doesn't have to be a home run. It can be a single. It doesn't have to be big.
And now as we get set here for the 1-2 pitch. Gamecocks looking to grab that 3rd out. Rivera will step out here. We'll take a quick pause. And now back into the box. Top of the 7th, 2 outs. Runner on second for the Gators as the Gamecocks lead it 3-1. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a high hit ball into center field. Another one to center field, and that one will be caught for the third and final out. So the Gators go down 1-2-3, and they still trail by 2. Gamecocks up next here in the bottom of the 7th after these quick messages.
American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
Welcome back to Science Today. And we already have our next caller. Welcome. Who's this?
Hi, I'm Philip.
Hello, Philip. You sound really young.
Not really. I'm 9.
Oh, wow. You're still in elementary school, right?
Does that matter?
Oh, no, not at all. What's your question?
Well, I know the molecular formula for water is H2O. I also know that hydrocarbon is CH3, CH2, 50, CH3. Glucose is C6H12O6. The general formula for an alkene is CnH2n plus 2. But what I can't seem to find is any scientific formula for Bob.
Bob?
My goldfish.
Are you ready for kids who eat healthy? Good nutrition can lead to great things. To find out how a healthy lifestyle can help your child succeed, go to mypyramid.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and USDA.
From the vantage point, Mafatu saw 6 war canoes drawn up on the beach. But what held the boy's eyes in awful trance were the figures, the eaters of men, cannibals. Mafatu watched the strange scene, powerless to move. In that very instant, he heard a crashing in the undergrowth. 4 figures were tearing through the jungle. He turned and ran blindly down the trail, thinking only of his canoe. If only he could reach it before the savages overtook him.
Welcome back here on the student broadcast of the SEC Network as we get set for the bottom of the 7th. First pitch in there for ball number 1. Stepping up into the plate for the Gamecocks right now is Josiah Slider. And here's the 1-0 pitch. Now 1 in there for a strike, so count now moves to 1-1.
Franco Aleman still in this game. He came in the 5th inning, but he's had 2 strikeouts on the day, facing 4 batters.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing out a foul ball there for strike number 2, so count now at 1-2.
It's been a quiet day, I feel like, for how long this game has taken. It's been very quiet from the plate. A lot of the issues coming from the hill or from the first base side. That's where all the errors have been made today.
1-2 pitch on the way. There's a swing, another foul ball. So count will move to, stay at 1-2. And you're right, a lot of crazy plays have happened over by first base. We saw that earlier where the ball was overthrown but bounced off of the dugout and came right back to the first baseman.
Like a scene out of Looney Tunes, I'm telling you.
Absolutely crazy. 1-2 pitch on the way. That one inside almost hit him there for ball number 2. Count now at 2-2 here.
One of the more heartbreaking things that I personally find is at the end of the game when the losing team has more hits. Doesn't that kind of just, grind your teeth a little bit? Let's say you've only got, right now, Florida leads with hits 5-4, but they're losing.
Here's the 2-2 pitch in there for strike number 3. So Aleman gets another strikeout here for the Gators. He picks up the first out of the inning.
But last night, things were a little bit different. The Gators ultimately did lose in the 14th inning, 9-8. But on the night, Gators, they had 9 hits. South Carolina, 20 hits last night. Bigger deficit right there with a much closer game.
It's definitely frustrating when you have a lot of hits but don't have runs to show for it and end up losing a game like that. Gators definitely looking to.
Because that just means you can't capitalize with runners in scoring position.
Absolutely. Here's the first pitch. That was a swing and a miss there for strike number 1 as Wes Clark is up at the plate. He had the 3-run bomb, in the 5th inning, which gave the Gamecocks the 2-run lead that we still sit at here in the bottom of the 7th. 0-1 pitch on the way. Swing out high, fly ball, and that ball will be caught by Rivera there to make the second out for the Gators.
Yeah, only 1 RBI for 1 batter on each team. For the Gamecocks, it's Clark, and for the Gators, it's Armstrong. Clark definitely the man of the hour in that dugout, I'm sure, giving the
Gamecocks. A nice little cushion here coming into the bottom of the 7th.
Just goes to show you that just one swing of the bat in these close games can change it all. So still in a very close game here in the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs. Pitch on the way. There's a swing out and a ground ball and the throw to first, and they've got it in time. So the Gators get a quick, nice 1-2-3 inning, and we'll head to the top of the 8th for the Gators after these quick messages.
A small boy was rescued from abuse today by a magic trick. Witnesses say a bully had the boy pinned down.
Scott was hitting Timmy pretty hard, and I said somebody should do something.
Moments later, a street magician arrived on the scene. Police reports state he covered the bully with his coat. What happened next is still under investigation.
The bully turned into a bunch of kittens.
The victim left the scene unharmed.
Boy, you never see that happen.
That's because it doesn't. If you see abuse or neglect, learn what you can do from American Humane at BeHumane.org.
I'm Sally, a volunteer at United Way. I'm asking people around the neighborhood what they think this place needs. Excuse me, hi. What do you think this place needs?
I'd like to see more parking.
More playgrounds.
Free movies.
That's easy. Better restaurants.
And you, what do you think this place needs?
This place? Oh, more ice cream trucks.
Okay. How about you?
Wi-Fi everywhere?
I was thinking more money in the pockets of local families come tax time.
Can I change my answer?
I was just kidding about the ice cream.
Oh, that's way better.
Now that you mention it.
When it comes to getting better tax refunds into the hands of local families, what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org. Because great things happen when we live united. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
These are the sounds of someone taking their eyes off the road. Texting while driving is more than distracting. It's dangerous. Do Florida a favor. When you're on the road, stay off the phone. A message from CTIA, America's wireless companies, and the National Safety Council.
Welcome back here to the SEC Network for this student broadcast as the number 5 Florida Gators take on the number 25 South Carolina Gamecocks. Gamecocks lead it 3-1 here as we get set to start the top of the 8th. We have a new pitcher coming in for the Gamecocks. It's Brett Carey stepping in for them. A great job by the Gamecocks starting pitcher, and I'm blanking on his name, I apologize, but he did a great job with 5 strikeouts in this game and did a great job holding the Gators just 1 run.
Yeah, Brandon Jordan was pretty lights out today, and even when he went back into the dugout, he was getting hugs from not just the players but the coaches as well. I think for them this game is very important. They want to sweep the number 5 team. That's great bragging rights for them, and Jordan did everything in his power to let that happen today.
And now it's going to be up to Carey to continue the success right now as Jacob Young steps up to the plate for the Gators. Here's that first pitch, and that one is outside for a ball, so count moves to 1-0.
Brett Carey on the year with some really impressive relief stats through 14 innings, boasting an ERA of .64.
Here's the 1-0 pitch now, swing and a high fly ball into right field, and that ball will be caught for out number 1. So Jacob Young goes to 0-4 on the day, and the Gators now starting to get down to their last couple of outs here now, to be exact, 5 more outs in this game.
Yeah, and Carey's definitely the guy that South Carolina wants on the mound right now. Like I was saying, he's only given up 1 home run this season, or 1 earned run, I apologize, and 28 strikeouts. He's pretty on top of it from the mound.
Judd Fabian at the plate now for the Gators. Here's that first pitch, swing and a miss there for strike number 1, so count moves to 0-1.
And now this is the guy you want at the plate, that SEC Player of the Week. He earns that title after a stellar performance against A&M last weekend. 5 RBIs, 2 home runs, a double as well. Great from the plate last weekend.
Here's the 0-1. That one in there for strike number 2, so count now moves to 0-2 on Fabian here in the top of the 8th with 1 out. 0-2 pitch, and that one just outside for a ball, so count moves to 1-2.
Now, if you're South Carolina, yeah, you've only got a 2-run cushion right now, but with the way that the morale is just tracing over this field, it feels almost like a 5-run cushion. Gators don't seem to have any pep in their step cut at the plate. I feel like they've lost this game before it started, just with how the atmosphere felt going into this game.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one way outside there for a ball. So count now moves to 2-2 on Fabian. You're right. Definitely doesn't seem like the Gators are energized in this game, and they're going to need to pick it up very quickly if they want to try and come back in this game. They're only down by 2 runs, so definitely very doable for a high-powered offensive team like this. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing, a foul ball, so count remains at 2-2 now here. And
it sounds like a Gator fan sitting right behind the away dugout in South Carolina must have heard us. He was in a nice bright orange shirt and he's texting during Judd Fabian's at bat, and he picked up his White Claw and he strutted out of here.
Not happy after this performance so far, but the game's not over. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one just high, and it'll be for a ball, so count goes full at 3-2.
Florida does do well under pressure. They've had a lot of comebacks in the 9th inning or really close attempts at that, so this game isn't over yet.
And now we'll get set here for the 3-2 pitch. And swing and a miss there for strike number 3. So Brett Carey picks up his first strikeout of the game, and the Gators now down to 1 more out here in the 8th inning.
Yeah, they've only got 4 more outs left to try and make something of this game. And they've got Nathan Hickey up at the plate, followed by, hopefully, the next inning, McMullen, Butler, and Thompson. But you want to get back to Armstrong. Armstrong, one of the guys who's been productive today from the plate with 2 doubles and the only RBI for Florida.
Well, it's going to have to be Nathan Hickey to try and get a base hit for the Gators, as here's the first pitch is outside for a ball, so count moves to 1-0.
Now, Nathan Hickey, not too shabby from the plate. He is leading the team in the batting average category with .359 on the year.
1-0 pitch on the way. There's a swing and a ground ball to first base, and they'll pick it up and step on first for the 3rd out of the inning. So that'll do it for the Gators. They're going to have 3 more outs, but first, South Carolina will be up here in the bottom of the 8th to try and add to that 2-run lead. We'll be right back after these messages.
Ruth Rusey, and this is how I live United. I read to children as part of United Way's education program. It helps them create links between language and literacy and prepares them for a better academic future. I figure I have the time and they have the need. My name is Ruth Rusey. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Hey you, yeah you, sit right there, I gotta tell you something. I bet you know someone with type 2 diabetes. Guaranteed, you know why? Because 1 out of every 3 little kids is gonna develop diabetes in their lifetime. This can lead to heart problems, strokes, and even blindness. I'm John Sally, and I'm telling you, it ain't gotta be that way. Now you can up your defenses by eating more fruits and vegetables, having more vegetarian and vegan meals. These steps can be the power plays to protect you and your family against the risk of diabetes. To learn more, go to blockdiabetes.org. I'm kidding.
Hello, I'm John Lithgow. Manatees are unique, among the most amazing animals on Earth, but they're endangered. We pose the greatest threat to their survival. Many manatees are killed or injured by boats or other recreational activities. I'm a writer of children's books, including one about manatees, and I believe education is the key. You can be part of the solution. Please contact Save the Manatee Club right now. Call 1-800-432-JOIN. Thank you.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
This is the sound of someone correctly installing a car seat. And this is the sound of someone incorrectly installing a car seat. Correctly, incorrectly. Hear the difference? No? That's because installing a car seat incorrectly is terribly easy. So much so, 75% of adults install them wrong. For simple instructions on how to get it right, visit buckleupforlife.org. Ah, perfectly executed. Brought to you by Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center.
My name is Ruth Rusey, and and this is how I live United. I read to children as part of United Way's education program. It helps them create links between language and literacy and prepares them for a better academic future. I figure I have the time and they have the need. My name is Ruth Rusey. I help kids prepare.
Welcome back here on the SEC Network for this student broadcast. The number 5 Florida Gators taking on the number 25 South Carolina Gamecocks. As the Gamecocks lead it 3-1 here in the bottom of the 8th. We have a new pitcher for the Florida Gators. It's Trey Vanderweed. I apologize if I mispronounced that name, as he gets set here in the bottom of the 8th. First pitch in there for a strike. 0-1 pitch on the way now. Ground ball up to second, and that ball is going to be bobbled. And now another base runner for the Gamecocks here in the bottom of the 8th.
First error for Florida on the day. It was bobbled by Rivera over there, not once, not twice, but 3 times. Wasn't able to make the throw over there. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't stick with Alaman. Not going to lie. He didn't give up any runs. He had 3 or 4 Ks. He's got a pretty good ERA coming into the game. But Trey Vanderweed got a 3.86 ERA in just 16.1 innings, also sprouting with 14 strikeouts on the year.
Now up to the plate for the Gamecocks is going to be Jeff Heinrich, as he looks to try and get some insurance runs here for the Gamecocks in the bottom of the 8th as they lead it 3-1.
Yeah, earlier in the day, he got hit with probably the nastiest pitch up at the helmet, and it looks like he's going for the bunt here.
Quick check on the runner on first. He's back in with plenty of time.
Bunt situations are always fun in baseball because they never really happen, and it's always like you always get teased with it. You see them show the bat, and then they just pull back right away. They're just trying to advance that runner right now and maybe add an extra run or two going to that 9th inning.
Here's the pitch, and they will get the bunt down, but this one's going to be foul, so count will move to 0-1 now.
Just slowly making his way back to the batter's box, taking his time before he has to maybe show the bat again.
You know, my grandpa, when he coached my dad in baseball, he always said that the one important thing he always taught the kids was how to bunt, because bunting is so important. It's one of the underrated things in baseball often that a lot of kids often don't know how to do.
I played softball, and that was a huge thing, and I was a terrible bunter, not because I couldn't hit the ball, but because I couldn't run fast. I was not going to make it to first in time. There's no way. And I remember my senior year of high school, my coach gave me the bunt signal, and I looked at her, and I was like, are we sure? Are we sure? We know what's going to happen, right? I'm going to be out.
Here's the 0-1 pitch, and now another bunt attempt. That one will get back to the mound and a throw to first, and he's got him there for the out. Runner will advance to second, so now 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. It looked like Vanderweed wanted to take that himself to first base and then quickly decided to make the throw to first, as it looked like he might have gotten beat.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go all the way with that one, but he didn't. He had it in his glove, and I thought he was going to actually just flip his glove and let the ball kind of come out naturally. But no, he did transfer it over to his left hand and threw it in.
Nonetheless, he does get the out, but the bunt does work in advancing the runner for the Gamecocks. So now a runner in scoring position with 1 out. Now another quick meeting at the mound for Sullivan. And no, actually, we're going to have a pitching change here. So Vanderweed will come out, and we'll have a new pitcher jogging in for the Florida Gators.
It looks like it's going to be number 6, Kendrick Calilau, but that cannot be correct, I don't think.
It's number 8. It's going to be Brandon Sport.
Oh, Brandon Sproat, yes. While he was running, his glove was covering that top of the 8, and I was like, number 6, that can't be right. Kendrick Calilau does not play from the mound.
So he's going to come in here for the Florida Gators in the bottom of the 8th with 1 out and a runner on second. Gators still trailing by 2. So definitely looking to try and keep it close here so they can have a chance at the top of the 9th. We're going to take a quick break while he warms up. We'll be right back after these messages.
Here, and I know how important exercise is.
It's essential. It's essential.
With Play 60, United Way and the NFL are helping kids stay active and play at least 60 minutes a day.
Healthy kids, healthy kids.
But what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60 because great things happen when we live united.
Donate, donate.
Are you guys going to do that every time?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
There are some things you can only do once in a lifetime. Graduate high school, get your first job. And if you're a young man about to turn 18, there's one other thing, which is also the law: registering with Selective Service. It's fast, it's easy, and you only have to do it once your entire life. Just visit your post office or sss.gov on your computer or smartphone. Do it and keep yourself eligible for a lot of other once-in-a-lifetime experiences, like that first college loan or Pell Grant, or U.S. citizenship if you're an immigrant.
Hello, I'm John Lithgow. Manatees are unique, among the most amazing animals on Earth, but they're endangered. We pose the greatest threat to their survival. Many manatees are killed or injured by boats or other recreational activities. I'm a writer of children's books, including one about manatees, and I believe education is the key. You can be part of the solution. Please contact Save the Manatee Club right now. Call 1-800-432-JOIN. Thank you.
Are you saving for a big purchase or just trying to put money away for a rainy day? The National Foundation for Credit Counseling offers these tips to help you meet your savings goals. Set aside money from every paycheck, bank any raises, bonuses, or tax refunds, and put away loose change every night. It adds up. For more tips on how to save money and reach your financial goals, call a certified NFCC counselor at 1-800-388-2227 or visit nfcc.org, a public service from the National Foundation for Credit Counseling.
Welcome back here to the student broadcast here on the SEC Network as the number 5 Florida Gators take on the number 25 South Carolina Gamecocks. Gamecocks lead it 3-1 here in the bottom of the 8th as we get set here with a runner on second. Stepping up to the plate now for the Gamecocks is Colin Burgess as he faces up the new pitcher for the Florida Gators, Brandon Sprout.
Burgess, one of the many, many players on that South Carolina lineup to get hit with a pitch today, but he was the hero last night, and one of the good reasons why he's up at the plate right now. They want him to kind of add that lead, just like he won the game yesterday.
Here's the first pitch. Swing and a miss there for strike number 1 here to Colin Burgess. He's 0 for 2 today with a hit by pitch, as you mentioned, looking to try and get that first hit for today and get some insurance run for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, Trey Vanderwee was only in this game for 1 batter. I was like, that's got to be kind of annoying to get yourself all hyped up in the bullpen just to come out for a third of an inning.
Here's the 0-1 pitch and a swing and a miss there for strike number 2. Well, Sprout is really showing why maybe that was the right move by Sullivan to bring him in there with 2 great pitches to start this at-bat here.
I know it is very interesting, just the analytics of baseball and how just one pitcher facing 1 batter can make such a big difference in the outcome of a game.
There are Rays fans screaming right now.
I was just going to say,
yeah. The analytics don't prove everything.
I'm one of those people, so don't
Blake
worry.
Snell out in the World Series and ended up losing that game after he was on a roll. Here's the 0-2 pitch, swing and a foul ball, so count will stay 0-2 now.
It's funny that you say that because I was actually talking to somebody yesterday, and they asked me why I loved baseball so much, and I started talking about Game 162 was the reason why I started loving baseball, but I was like, the reason why I hate baseball is Game 5 of the World Series because that just irks me the wrong way for so many reasons because analytics aren't everything, but most of the time they tend to hold up.
It was definitely a frustrating time as a Rays fan, but a great time if you're a Dodgers fan, as that helped them ultimately win the World Series. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and that one just low in outside for a ball, so count moved to 1-2.
I think what bothered me most about watching that is I watched it here by myself, and I was texting my brother, and he was texting me the second that Kevin Cash walked out of the dugout. He's like, it's over, we're done. And I was like, I know. We lost the whole thing. I know.
Watching that game and thinking of my brother, who's even bigger Rays fan than me, and he actually knows Blake Snell personally.
Really?
Hangs out with him all the time,
Wow.
and he was furious about
I
that.
would imagine. I would be too. And I remember seeing Mookie Betts start smiling. And I was like, I don't like that.
1-2 pitch in, a swing out high, fly ball. Fabian jugging and try to get to this one. It's going to fall, though, for a base hit. Now the throw into second. Runner will go to third. So Fabian can't quite get there, and that's going to be a base hit for Colin Burgess with now runners on the corner with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th.
It looked like Fabian almost didn't overestimated the speed of that ball and thought it was going to go further, but actually ends up short because he wasn't running too terribly fast, not with a lot of urgency. I think he thought the ball was going to go a little bit farther than it did.
Nonetheless, now Gamecocks again threatening to try and add to their 3-1 lead right now here in the bottom of the 8th with runners on first and third with 1 out. So now up to the plate for the Gamecocks. It's going to be Brady Allen as he looks to try and get his first hit of this game here.
Yeah, Khalil so far in the day, not very productive. And what you don't want to have happen is this game kind of get away from you and you see the dominant Wes Clark back up here.
And another bunt attempt there. That one goes foul, though, so count will move to 0-1.
I wonder if when they get the bunt sign, if they think the same thing I do, be like, oh, God, not this again.
it probably depends on the type of hitter. If someone that you're not the best hitter, you're probably like, yes, I like the bunt. I can do something easy here.
If I'm fast, I'm thinking this is good for me. This is my one chance to shine.
Right, but if you're a good hitter, you're probably like, come on, give me the chance to swing the bat, coach. But nonetheless, right now, runners in the corner in the bottom of the 8th with 1 out. Gamecocks lead it 3-1. As we get set, here's the 0-1. And that one's way outside for a ball. Looked like possibly another bunt attempt, but didn't have to worry about that one, so count moves to 1-1.
Yeah, South Carolina so far this season at 500 in SEC play with a record of 2-2, and they want to make that a 3-2 record with a win here today if they can pull that off.
Allen batting 200 so far right now after going 0 for 3 today, looking to try and get that first hit. And now here's the 1-1. Swing and a high hit ball into right center, and the Gators will make the grab and quickly throw it in. And the run will score, though, so South Carolina adds a run there to extend their lead now to 3 after a sacrifice fly by Brady Allen.
Listen, this was all strategic from the get-go. Like we were saying, you want to have that bunt situation because you want to move the runner over and you want to get him to third as quickly as possible. But it looks like we might have a little bit of a look-see here. They think that Heinrich, all the way on third base, may have left the bag a little bit early, and it looks like we might be looking at that.
Well, that could be huge here for the Gators. Obviously, down 3 is still relatively small and can be one swing of the bat type of deal, but obviously any extra run helps, so that would be definitely unfortunate for the Gamecocks. This is now the 4th review that we have had in this baseball game. I think this is the most reviews I have ever seen.
I was like, look at my forehead. I can guarantee you I'm getting a wrinkle with how long this game's been taking with these reviews. Which is, it's great for baseball to get really technical like this, but man, it does lengthen the play of the game.
Well, a quick look at the replay we're seeing right now, I'd have to think it's really close, and I don't know if there's enough evidence to overturn this. So I would imagine my first guess is it stays safe, but who knows?
Yeah, it looks like he's taking off before the ball is in the glove. But taking off doesn't mean he left the bag early. Like, his momentum is getting him off the bag just before the ball is in Young's glove. But just from the angle that we're getting, you're not zoomed in enough to be able to tell if there's any distance between the back of his toe and the top of third base. So I got to agree. I don't think there's enough to overturn this one.
Sometimes they do have extra camera angles when looking at this type of stuff that we don't get to see, so they could be seeing something that we don't. But nonetheless, the Gators having a little meeting right now outside the mound as they wait for this call. They know they have got to get their offense rolling here when they take the top of the 9th and obviously want to hold the Gamecocks to no more runs right now, so they have the best chance of coming back in this game.
Because a 3-1 game and a 4-1 game to me are very different in the mindset that you approach it with. 3-1, you're thinking, oh, 2 runs, that's easy. Get 1 runner on, and someone hits a 2-run home run, game's tied. But 4 runs, obviously, the more runs, the more work you have to do. But with only 1 inning left, it makes that deficit feel a lot greater.
No question about that as we wait to hear the call on the runner possibly tagging at third. Remember, the call on the field, I believe, was safe, or he tagged up. So another important factor to remember because that makes it a little more difficult to overturn. And looks like we're going to get the call here in just a second.
Let's see if they prove us wrong.
And he is safe, so the Gamecocks pick up their 4th run of this ball game and now lead it by 3 here in the bottom of the 8th, and still 2 outs and a runner on first.
Yeah, and we're going to see Brady Allen coming up to the plate. It's top of the lineup again. And now the Gators are down by 3, and they've only got 3 outs next inning to try and make up that deficit. Not a lot of looks over there in the Florida dugout, a lot of stern faces. I don't think they're very happy with the performance today.
Definitely look frustrated, and after a heartbreaking loss, too, in 14 innings last night, this has got to be tough for that team, but they say you've got to have a short mindset and get ready to go.
Every game is different, and the mental aspect of baseball is so important. I think more important than any other sport when you consider basketball is so fast-paced. You don't have time to necessarily think about, each individual play and, like, if the ball comes to me or this next pitch. It's not – everything's broken down so much in baseball in comparison to basketball. Even with football, it's just so quick-paced.
First pitch to Allen's a high hit ball into left field, and that ball will be caught for the third out. So the Gators end the inning, but not before the Gamecocks add one more run to lead it by a score of 4-1. We'll be right back after these messages as the Gators get set for the top of the ninth.
Was rescued from abuse today by a magic trick. Witnesses say a bully had the boy pinned down.
Scott was hitting Timmy pretty hard, and I said somebody should do something.
Moments later, a street magician arrived on the scene. Police reports state he covered the bully with his coat. What happened next is still under investigation.
The bully turned into a bunch of kittens.
The victim left the scene unharmed.
Boy, you never see that happen.
That's because it doesn't. If you see abuse or neglect, learn what you can do from American Humane at BeHumane.org.
I'm Sally, a volunteer at United Way. I'm asking people around the neighborhood what they think this place needs. Excuse me, hi. What do you think this place needs?
I'd like to see more parking.
More playgrounds.
Free movies.
That's easy. Better restaurants.
And you, what do you think this place needs?
This place? Oh, more ice cream trucks.
Okay. How about you?
Wi-Fi everywhere?
I was thinking more money in the pockets of local families come tax time.
Can I change my answer?
I was just kidding about the ice cream.
Oh, that's way better.
Now that you mention it.
When it comes to getting better tax refunds into the hands of local families, what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org. Because great things happen when we live united. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
These are the sounds of someone taking their eyes off the road. Texting while driving is more than distracting. It's dangerous. Do Florida a favor. When you're on the road, stay off the phone. A message from CTIA, America's wireless companies, and the National Safety Council.
Welcome back here in the SC Network for this student broadcast as we watch the Florida Gators take on the Gamecocks here in the top of the ninth. Gamecocks looking to pick up the second win of this three-game series right now as they lead it 4-1, the top of the ninth. And now stepping up to the plate for the Florida Gators is going to be Kirby McMullen. 3 outs left for the Gators. First pitch is in there for strike number 1, so count goes to 0-1.
He's 1 for 3 on the day with a single earlier, but 2 strikeouts with that. South Carolina looking to make this a win for them in the series category. They would, even if they lose tomorrow, they would win the series, which would be a great boost for them after going 1-2 against Vanderbilt last weekend.
0-1 pitch is in there for a ball, so count now moves to 1-1. Here and now we get set for the 1-1. And that one's in there for a strike as well at the knee, so count moves to 1-2.
And you and I were talking in the commercial break about the Gators' attitude and how they came in as number 1, and we think that they've put such a pinnacle of like perfect on themselves, such a high standard they feel like they have to play, that when they don't meet it, that it really kills the morale.
1-2 pitch, and there's a swing and a miss for strike number 3. So the Gamecocks pick up the first out of the ninth, and the Gators down to just 2 more outs.
We saw a bunch of young fans and young college fans all celebrating out the outfield, just screaming their heads off. This is a big one for them. Taking down the number 5 team is something to brag about.
No question about that. It'll be a big boost for the Gamecocks in the rankings when that time comes. So now up at the plate for the Gators is Jordan Butler. Here's the first pitch to him. That one, in there for a strike. Count goes 0-1.
And we were talking about last night's loss, too. You know, there was a heartbreaker in the 14th inning. But those kinds of games where they go so long, and they were leading in the bottom of the 14th, and they ended up just getting beaten by Wimmel and Burgess. But that, to me, isn't this devastating loss. You know, it was a hard-fought game, and South Carolina came out on the other side, but they didn't play poorly. They played really well, and it just went the other way that day. But losses to Florida State that are like 10-2, those are the ones that sting.
0-1 pitch fouled off there, and count will go to 0-2. Now here's the 0-2 pitch. That one way high for a ball, so count now goes to 1-2 for Jordan Butler. He's 0 for 3 today. He did reach on an error, but looking to pick up that first hit to try and give his team a chance here in the top of the ninth.
If you're Butler, you want to hit this ball clean and gone. That'd be his second home run of the season if he did so, swinging like he wants to.
Here's the 1-2. That one swung on and fouled off there, so count will remain at 1-2 for Butler. Right now, if you're the Gators, you just want to get one hit and try and get Chris Armstrong back up.
Little by little. You don't have to do, again, doesn't have to be big. Just has to work. It can be you can even bunt here if you wanted to be creative.
1-2 pitch here now for Butler. Pitch on the way. Swing, and he holds up. They're going to check to first, and it looks like he did go. So a strikeout there for the Gamecocks, and the Gators down to their last out. The TV angle for us really did not want to show us what had happened in the call from the umpire.
Yeah, it is always fun doing some of these away games when we don't have our own equipment to work with and we're just kind of at the mercy of whatever SEC Network or South Carolina's putting up. But so far it's been pretty good. A few little glitches, but hasn't been as bad as some games in the past.
First pitch on the way is in there for strike number 1. It's Sterling Thompson up at the plate for the Gators. So Gators down to their last out. Need to get something going right now as they trail by 3 in the top of the ninth.
Sterling Thompson was the only runner to actually cross the plate for Florida today.
0-1 pitch, swing and a miss there for strike number 2. So now the Gators down to their last strike here in this one. Looks like Gamecock fans in the background getting a little excited here. They know they're close to a second win. Here's a high hit ball deep down to right center. This ball's got a chance, and a leaping grab at the wall, and the Gamecocks will win this one by a score of 4-1, and they take a 2-0 series lead against the 5th-ranked Florida Gators.
That catch really hurt because I'm not going to lie. When Thompson put that swing on that ball, I thought it was going to get out of here.
It definitely had a chance to get out, but it doesn't get out, and the Gamecocks win this one on 5 hits, 1 error, 4 total runs for the Gamecocks. Great job by them, to their credit, to win this one. Guys, that's going to do it for us here in this student broadcast of the Florida Gators SEC Network. We'll be right back after these quick messages.
Sound of someone correctly installing a car seat. And this is the sound of someone incorrectly installing a car seat. Correctly, incorrectly. Hear the difference? No? That's because installing a car seat incorrectly is terribly easy. So much so, 75% of adults install them wrong. For simple instructions on how to get it right, visit buckleupforlife.org. Perfectly executed. Brought to you by Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center.
My name is Ruth Rusey, and this is how I live United. I read to children as part of United Way's education program. It helps them create links between language and literacy and prepares them for a better academic future. I figure I have the time and they have the need. My name is Ruth Rusey. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Hey, Russell Wilson here, and I know how important exercise is.
We're back here on for the post-game show as the Florida Gators fall to the Gamecocks by a score of 4-1. Let's recap this game for you real quick. As the Florida Gators actually took a 1-0 lead in the top of the second inning after an RBI double from Chris Armstrong, but then it was the Gamecocks who battled back in the 5th inning after a 3-run blast from Wes Clark and gave the Gamecocks a 3-1 lead. And then the Gamecocks would add to it in the bottom of the 8th, giving them a 4-1 lead heading into the 9th, and then a quick 1-2-3 to end it for the Gators. So now the Gamecocks lead the series 2-0. They have one more game tomorrow at noon. Alexa, tough game for the Gators. What are your takeaways from this one?
I think the biggest takeaway is the fact that it's a narrow game when you look at it from the statistical side. Both teams had 5 hits, and both teams had pitching struggles as well. But what killed the Gators was the inability to capitalize with runners on scoring position. When you look at the StatCast right now, both teams offensive leaders. You got 2 for South Carolina. Only one guy for Florida really had a day at the plate, going 2 for 2 with a double and an RBI double. I honestly think that we were, saying a couple times today during the break that morale and the mental aspect of this game is so detrimental that the Gators put themselves such a high standard of play, and it hasn't worked out the way that they wanted to, and I think they've put a lot of pressure on themselves to be almost perfect every game, and when it doesn't happen, I think it hurts a lot more than how bad the error actually is. So I think they need to, I don't want to say, give themselves a reality check on that. They're going to make errors. They're not going to win every game. They're not going to have 10 runs every game. They're going to hit batters, but you can't let it defeat you before the game even starts.
Well, and a lot of credit does need to go to the Gamecocks as well, who came in with a great game plan and held the Gators to just one run. This is a very high-powered offensive team, the Gators are, but the Gamecocks did do a great job at holding them and ultimately picking up the win. So that's going to do it for us today on this SEC Network, the broadcast. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow as the Gators take on the Gamecocks one last time in the 3-game series. That game will be at noon. So for Jake Ricker and Alexa Harley, we'll see you guys next time.